Boys in the back. Boys.
What is good? We are back with another episode of Boys in the Back. Welcome into our cozy home here. I don't know what else to call it. Our humble abode. We've got the fire warming. Rick was making some eggnog before we got on. Frank is back there crisping up some latkes. It's nice and cozy in here, man. It smells like chestnuts roasting on a fire.
It's festive. I'm in the mood. I'm in the mood for the holidays, and we're about to deliver a great show today.
Just right off rip. I mean, we just gotta show some love to the sweater here.
Look at that.
Shama. Where's he at? There it is. Virtually the same.
Looks the same. Pretty good.
Santa hat. Santa behind me. Stole the hat off him. Look at the custom bug down there.
It's looking very festive.
We do it big.
Yeah, you've done a great job here.
Big weekend. Alexander Usyk, Tyson Fury 2.
Huge.
But before we get into that, before we preview anything, we can start actually with my sweater because Mr. Pereira was in the news last night, getting on Twitter and Instagram and posting a cryptic caption,
yeah,
but also
sure,
like very straightforward. Him essentially saying,
well, straightforward to Magomed, but cryptic otherwise.
I actually do wonder how straightforward it is now that I think about it more. Here it is right here. It won't be Ankalaev, crying emoji. And then he posted on Instagram as well, it won't be Ankalaev, with a video of him finishing Khalil Roundtree.
Yeah. What do we make of this?
I was just about to ask you that. So my first thought, like obviously right off rip, hearing that is just like, is he not going to fight Magomed Ankalaev? Is that what
it's a good assumption?
I just don't know if it's not going to be Magomed Ankalaev. Who else would it be?
The things that come to mind when I see stuff like this immediately are, okay, for one reason or another, it seems like maybe this fight is not going to happen. Because to this point, we have to like go back in time, I think, for the context of this. Alex Pereira has been saying, I'm willing to fight Magomed. I want to fight Magomed Ankalaev because I want to show you all that he's not this boogeyman that you've created. And so he has never kind of ducked the smoke, quote unquote, from Magomed Ankalaev. He's always been pretty straightforward about like, I want to fight this guy, I want to finish this guy, and I'm going to show you. And so for him to say kind of definitively there, like it's not going to be Magomed, that makes me think, okay, something has happened here. Now, has it happened on the Magomed Ankalaev side? Has it happened on the Alex Pereira side? Because we all assume that that's the next fight. There's not a clear other fight for Alex Pereira, and I think we'll get into some options here if it's not going to be Magomed. But it seemed like that was the clear fight. Number one contender, just got a win. Alex Pereira defends his title. So to me, I start to wonder, okay, what has happened? Is it on Magomed's side? Is it on Alex's side? Just based on the fact that Alex is who Alex is, I don't imagine it's on Alex's side. I don't imagine there's a reason that this would be held up. There's also the third option, which is it's not on Magomed's side, it's not on Alex's side, it's on the UFC side where they've gone, hey, we've got a better option that we like a little more than the potential fight against Magomed, which I identified, even if he won, unless he did it really, really impressively, there was a real chance that option was going to come into play. So
okay,
now
so
we're sitting here.
That actually has some legs to it, what you're saying right there, of like the UFC presented an alternative option to Alex Pereira, and that's what it's going with, because it almost feels like it's like he's like crying, laughing, like, wow, it's really not going to be Magomed Ankalaev, all of this shit. Like almost, I can't even believe it.
That's an important, your detective work on the emoji is very important.
Because, speaking of emojis, I don't know if it's on Magomed Ankalaev's side because Magomed Ankalaev got into Alex Pereira's tweet, responds to it with the chicken, says chicken, and then drops 3 chicken emojis on it.
Strong response.
So, like, I can't imagine, like, he's healthy, he accepted a fight, and then he's calling the dude a chicken. I don't know, Twitter fingers, all of that.
I'm going to say it's not impossible.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you're, like, behind the scenes, like, I can't really go, and then all of a sudden you pop on Twitter and you're like, I can go.
Is there any chance that Pereira wants the March pay-per-view and Magomed Ankalaev turned it down because of Ramadan?
I do wonder if maybe, Alex's timeline is not lining up with Magomed's. And then, as I said, you put the UFC in a position where now we've got some other options. And all of this at the moment, we should say flatly, speculation, pure. We know
100%.
nothing. We know nothing definitively from these tweets. I've asked people in the know, and I have nothing to say that is like definitive on this. And we have no additional insight at this moment other than a tweet from Alex Pereira, an Instagram comment from Alex Pereira, some responses from Magomed. But Alex Pereira is not usually the type to create a fire when there's no smoke.
Okay,
right?
you say that though, but then he's also posted the Instagram story, and he's just like, with John Jones, he's just like, let's just fight for the BMF belt at heavyweight.
That's him asking for something. That's him calling for something.
He's also posted like the picture of like Aspinall staring at him with like the eyes emoji. So like he has posted in the past.
Okay, here's where I think there's a difference. It's a fair point. It's a fair point. Here's where I think there's a difference. In that case, Alex is the hunter. Alex is saying, this is what I want. I'm staking my claim. I want to be your opponent. In this case, Magomed is the hunter and saying like, okay, you can't run from me, chicken, quote unquote. I'm next for you. And Alex is like, no, maybe not. Maybe he's not. Now, that I feel like has a little more weight to it and stakes to it, because Alex is like, I'll fight anybody. I'll fight anybody on the earth. You, Tom Aspinall, I don't care how scary they think you are. I want you. John Jones, I don't care if you're undefeated. I want you.
Okay, so he's the hunted at 205.
He's the hunted at 205.
Let's do some math on who he could possibly be fighting at 205. Because I'm curious to get your thoughts. I ran it down, and I was just like, there is no one other than Magomed Ankalaev.
I believe we have the rankings, right? We have the rankings.
Let's UFC put them up, and I can just break this all down. I went deep in 205. Not going to be Yuri. He's already beat him twice. Not going to be Jamal Hill because he's booked to fight Yuri next month. We think we're going to get a little pullout. Maybe that's what it's going to be.
I don't know.
Not going to be Jan Blachowicz. He already beat him. Jan Blachowicz is booked against number 6 Carlos Ulberg to fight in London. Not going to be Rakic. He has
just lost.
Been losing of late. Khalil Roundtree. Not going to be him. He just beat him. Nikita Krylov was booked to fight number 12, who's not even on the top 10, Mirzakhanov at MSG. It's not going to be Krylov.
From here on, we can
Volkan
say definitively.
Lost, Walker lost. Dominic Reyes sitting at 11, you know? Does an Anthony Smith win and a Dustin Jacoby win after a 4-fight losing streak get you a title shot over the clearest number 1 contender of all time, Magomed Ankalaev?
No, but what we've learned in recent history with the UFC and MMA in general is the best ability is availability. Yeah. And if you are there, if you're Khalil Roundtree and you can put on an exciting fight and you're available, you'll get a title shot. And so there's guys at light heavyweight that like are interesting. I'll be honest, I don't know if I'm ready to move on from Jamal Hill so quick. Like all of a sudden you got that gym video and all of a sudden, hey, like we've seen, let's not pretend that just because you're booked, you can't be put into a fight. We have seen that before. And if the sense is that for one reason or another, Alex and Magomed are not going to fight, is Jamal Hill not the best option at 205? Now,
so you're saying that what you're thinking is that they potentially tried to book Magomed Ankalaev versus Alex Pereira. It didn't work out, so then they're like, actually, let's just pull Jamal from the Yuri fight and let's have them fight.
I don't know that happened because I still don't know if this is just Alex being silly on Twitter.
Everything we're saying is in theory. This is all of us guessing. We're just having fun, speculating, thinking by the fire on a beautiful holiday evening.
It would make sense to me that if they cannot make that fight, you would look down the list that we just did. Now, you could also look at the heavyweight list, and that would be pretty sexy. But you could look at the light heavyweight list and go, who's the next best guy? To me, I think Jamal Hill has done a good job kind of staying connected to Alex Pereira, and the others have not done a good enough job of making themselves clear-cut contenders.
Could you imagine if Jamal Hill had the gym video to thank for a second title shot?
Potentially. Although I do say, now I'm trying to like do this whole like game where I get inside the mind of Alex Pereira, like I'm like some mastermind, like a criminal analyst, and I'm trying to get inside the mind of the killer. I wonder, though, if it was Jamal Hill, if Alex's post would have been more about Jamal Hill, right? If maybe this was a 2-part step, maybe we're not to step 2 yet where we're thinking about other potential opponents. Maybe we're only in step 1 where it's like, it's not going to be Magomed. But if he was already on step 2, I feel like the message would not be necessarily about Magomed and just be about Jamal Hill. You got your wish. You want to throw down? We're going to throw down. But do you agree with me? I feel like Jamal Hill is the next best option if it is not Magomed at 205.
Yeah, I just don't think that's what it is.
No, I mean,
I just don't think that's what it is.
So what? Let's say
I don't feel like you need to rush Alex Pereira back.
Oh, so Alex just waits a bit.
Yeah, like.
But then why is he saying potentially? It's not Magomed. Why even talk if it's just going to be booked? He could just be chatting shit.
Also, like, dude, 4 words, 2.5 million views. Changed our rundown. We were going to start with Alexander Usyk versus Tyson Fury, and then we're like, oh, Poatan is talking now and saying that it's not going to be Ankalaev. So that's at 205. It is Magomed Ankalaev. And I guess you could do Jamal Hill, but like there is the major argument of like knocked him out last year and he's booked for a fight. That goes against that. But there are some other options out there that like could be for his next fight.
Tell me more.
Maybe not at 205 or maybe at 205. Him going to heavyweight, obviously. Maybe
that's the one for me.
I mean, we've been talking about Tom Aspinall and John Jones not being able to get booked. It's going to be tough. What if they've already had the conversations and it's just like, it's probably not going to get booked. So we're going to do Tom Aspinall versus Alex Pereira.
I believe, and I'm doing this from memory, when we did our live launch in September in Vegas at the Sportsbook at the Venetian. Shout out the Yahoo Sportsbook at the Venetian.
Shout out Yahoo Sportsbook.
The Greg from the Yahoo social team did a little video with all of us where it was like, what's the one fight you really, really, really want to see? And
you said Conor Ben, Chris Eubank.
Shout out. Real ones, no. There was some news today, unfortunately. Like, it seems like the purse percentages are preventing that from happening.
I'll believe that one when I see it in the ring.
Man. Moving on to better times. I believe I said Alex Pereira versus Tom Aspinall because I just don't know if Tom and John is going to happen, but I do believe that Tom and Alex are game enough, and if they delivered in Q1 or Q2, Tom Aspinall versus Alex Pereira, I don't know if I could be happier. I simultaneously want it to happen so badly because I think those two would just put on an incredible fight, and I would be the light heavyweight champion versus what is the rightful heavyweight champion, in my opinion. But I also don't want it to happen because like it's kind of like a secondary option to John Jones. We need Tom and John, but if we can't, oh man, Alex and Tom would be.
He's teased a move up to heavyweight. What if it's there's just such a gap between the juice of Tom, John, and then like I guess after that it's Cyril Gane, but Cyril Gane's now dealing with the foot injury that he suffered
out for a
just a couple weeks ago. And then, like, you can't do Volkov off a loss. You can't do Pavlovich off of 2 losses.
Have we created a special circumstance? Not we have not created this, but has a circumstance
been
created?
Who the fuck is we?
How you doing, Frankie?
Damn,
Frankie's
on his game today.
I'm doing great. Thanks for asking.
The latkes update?
Are you chewing those right now?
I have finished them off.
Oh, wow.
Sour
Didn't
cream,
even leave us
no
some.
All the applesauce.
Does this menorah light? Oh.
Wow.
All right. Wow.
Down
Can you not
Christmas
touch
tree.
things on the set, please?
This thing costs as much. This is why we don't let Rick do set design. This thing costs as much as the Rockefeller tree.
Way to shit all over
This
the
is
holiday.
actually it's out of batteries.
It does light though?
No, you're supposed to use a lighter.
No, I loaded this bad boy up with 4 AAAs.
Don't show us the
on
brand.
Monday.
Now we're shitting on the brand.
4 AAAs on Monday.
I was going to try and turn
it's already dead.
the ones
It
I've
looks
used
so
in the
cool
past.
when it's lit up,
You can
too.
turn the little flame. I was going to try and turn it.
Nah, it's
You don't just clap to turn them on?
Okay, wait. We got off track here. Has a circumstance been created where the light heavyweight division and the list of contenders and the heavyweight division and the list of contenders is so desolate, is so barren, that the only option is Tom versus Alex? If it's not Tom versus John. Like, what? Seemingly, they each have one fight that is the only fight that could be made. Alex versus Magomed is the fight.
Correct.
And we're really like struggling here. I'm like Jamal Hill. He knocked out Jamal Hill less than a year ago.
Correct. And
Tom
Jamal
and
now
John-
has a fight booked against a guy that he beat twice in the last 14 months.
Tom and John is the other fight that has to be made.
Yeah.
But outside of that, are we itching for anything for Tom?
No, nothing actually.
No.
I only want to see him fight John Jones.
So has a situation been created just by the lack of depth in these divisions, the lack of a true contender, a lack of a class in this division, where this is the only option?
This is a great point by you, man, because like when I really do think about it, imagine if they booked Tom Aspinall versus Cyril Gane for the, again, interim belt
It would feel
at this point.
ridiculous.
It would be the biggest letdown maybe in like fight announcement history for a guy that we want to see in this. Like, the juice of Tom Aspinall versus John Jones versus Tom Aspinall versus Cyril Gane, and that is the next possible one.
Yeah.
Like, and especially after the performance that he just had and the injuries that he had.
And Dana White saying 100%.
Yes,
this is the fight.
It would be such a letdown. It is just completely desolate. And then beyond Magomed Ankalaev, there's nothing there at 205 for Alex.
But anytime somebody's needed to save the day, call him up. Shama, let's go. I'm in the fight.
That's it.
That's the one. He's the guy.
Let me throw out something crazy.
Yeah, do it.
There's a title fight taking place in Australia early next year, February. 185 belt on the line. Dricus du Plessis, champion, taking on Sean Strickland.
Mm-hmm.
Some people out there, they were just like, maybe this one should have been another guy here at 185.
Oh, boy.
Maybe it shouldn't have been Sean Strickland getting this guy. Maybe it should have been one Khamzat Chimaev. Khamzat Chimaev finds out he's not getting the title shot. He gets upset. He says, you know what? I just want to fight for a title. 170, 205, I don't care. Let me go up. They're like, well, no. We got Shavkat at 170.
I'm going to fan myself off.
How about you go up and then we do Khamzat Chimaev versus Alex Pereira at 205? You get an immediate title shot, then you can go back down and fight for double champ status later in the year.
Oh, boy.
We're really getting off the rails.
It's getting hot in this
throwing it
room.
out there. Because do you think this tweet aligns at all with Dana White saying on Saturday, I just found out about something yesterday that's going to blow your fucking socks off?
Yeah. I don't know if it's that.
Chimaev, Alex Pereira blows my socks right off.
Isn't it crazy how Alex Pereira is like potentially the linchpin between like everything? Just like he's just the center of the MMA universe at all times. I would be very much interested in Khamzat Chimaev versus Alex Pereira. It's absolutely ridiculous and just the right kind of ridiculous.
Oh, it's so ridiculous, and like diehard fans that like love the like rankings and people getting deserved title shots would be pissed. Like the meritocracy fans, they would be very unhappy, but. That might be on like a dream fight scenario of just like match two guys up. I think that would fall in the top 5.
I will say, if Khamzat can get the middleweight belt and then we get a potential Khamzat versus Alex champ versus champ, that's the one.
You talk about Tom.
Would I want that more than Tom versus Alex? I wonder.
I would.
I think I would like that better as a fight. Tom versus Alex, I think, would be more fascinating for the perspective that if Alex Pereira can claim a third championship in the UFC, it would just take him to...
He would go to just like God status.
He's God. He's just elevates. He rises into the sky.
We talk about like Tom Aspinall jokes. He's just like, yeah, everyone wants to stand and strike with Alex. I'm going to blast the double so fast he's not going to know what to do with himself. Imagine what Khamzat Chimaev. Khamzat Chimaev would just come out in a 3-point stance. Like he'd just be like, all right.
Well, he does actually start in that like John Jones like prowl like literally. Predator stance.
Yeah, that fight he would make an attempt to take that. He would
try.
So fast.
Alex Pereira would be studying those uppercuts, just training, just landing that.
Let me throw out another crazy option to you. We're just having fun. I'm
in on the first one.
This one is even more unlikely, and I just doubt it happens. But they pull a Kaya Sakura-esque move. Let's just bring in a random guy. Rico Verhoeven comes in and fights Alex Pereira.
Now,
immediate title shot.
I'd be more interested in Rico versus Tom because that's like a fascinating matchup and heavy. Tom Aspinall is a big man. Rico is a bit like. There's a certain point where Alex Pereira is going to be up against guys who are too big for him. I know we think of him as like massive. He's kind of long. He's not necessarily like bulky. You know, like there is a point where when he goes up to heavyweight, he's going to have to just rely on being like faster and smaller because Rico Verhoeven is.
I was going to say, what if they did Verhoeven at heavyweight just in a fun fight?
No,
right now they're saying Verhoeven's 269.
Yeah, I know it would be heavyweight because Verhoeven's not getting smaller. But my thing is like he's almost like Alex is small compared to Rico.
They're like the same height, but Rico is thick. Man.
You know what's really fascinating about this, and I didn't even think of it till just now because Alex has been in MMA so long. When Alex was the double champ. In glory, he was calling to fight Rico Verhoeven. He wanted the fight with Rico Verhoeven.
UFC just running.
Now it comes around. Now here's the problem.
Yeah.
I do not think for 1 second Rico Verhoeven wants that smoke in MMA.
Way.
No way.
I don't think he wants to go to MMA, period. I think he's got something great in glory.
I think he has one pro. He may have two. He has at least one pro fight in MMA. I don't think he'd be out of his depths. I think you'd be out of your depths when you step into a fight against Alex Pereira in your first fight.
Let me throw out another idea
Or Tom.
for this. Can we see the tweet one more time, if possible? Pereira posts, it will not be Magomed Ankalaev with the crying emoji. It won't be Ankalaev. So like with the tweet, all we get is the text of it.
Mm-hmm.
But on Instagram, it goes with a video of him finishing Roundtree. Is there any world where he's just like, Ankalaev is not going to be the guy that's going to beat me? Like, it won't be Ankalaev that takes my belt.
And that we're all just speculating on like...
It's just like a language barrier thing that he was just like meant like, it's not going to be Ankalaev that beats me.
I didn't even consider the possibility. It's definitely possible. It feels too random. Like, I don't know if Alex... Like, I think Alex thinks everybody knows it's not going to be Ankalaev. But yeah, maybe. I don't know. Now you've got me thinking maybe it is, and we're just running with it. But
I've been trying to connect the dots, trying to connect the clues.
I love this.
It's the Charlie,
with the board.
It's like trying to been figured out. But at the end of the day, I think it probably means nothing. I think it's probably just a troll.
And then he's fighting Ankalaev.
Yeah, I think he's probably just gonna end up fighting Ankalaev.
Man, we laid out some fun ones, man. If Hamzat and Alex,
that's a dream. Also, if that happens, that's my bold prediction.
Hamzat and Alex are the two guys that, in every like fantasy booking scenario, you're just throwing them in at any weight class and just like, let them fight whoever. We don't give them.
Imagine how pissed Ankalaev would be. Shimaya just goes up to 205.
It'd be brutal.
Gets a title shot.
It'd be brutal. Now, what I hope in this whole scenario, let's say there is substance to this. Let's say that it really is not Ankalaev next. The only thing I hope is, if it is not Ankalaev, the reason is sound. Meaning, the only reason I would accept the fight for Alex Pereira that is not Ankalaev is heavyweight. If Alex is going to heavyweight,
yep.
Or if the timing did not work. If Ankalaev is the reason, right? If it's like, hey, we want the fight to happen here, Ankalaev can't make it, acceptable for Alex to fight somebody else in my mind. But those are the only two reasons. If it's like, we just like the Hill matchup better, or we like this other matchup, like, that doesn't do it for me. I think he's done more than enough. It's time to see this fight. Those are the only two things I hope, is that if this does not happen, if it is not Ankalaev, as he said, I hope it's for a good reason.
Me too. That's a good way to tie a bow on it, because like, Ankalaev is undoubtedly the contender.
And he's
great. The one that deserves it.
He's a great fighter, and he's not this wrestler guy that everybody is saying. That's not what this fight is going to be. He is not just like a shoot a double leg across the cage. He's not Habib.
Right.
He's not any of these guys that you're thinking of when you say it.
Yeah, he'll strike with him.
He'll strike.
It's like the Demetrius Johnson Jamal Hill video where Jamal Hill's like, "No, I'm going to strike with him." DJ's just like,
"No,
oh, okay." He just starts dying laughing.
Striking with Alex is a bad idea for everybody out there.
All right, shout out to Potan though, throwing a little wrench in there. We got 20 good minutes out of that,
and a great sweater. Shout out to that
sweater, limited release. Can't even get it now with the Santa hat on it. I mean, this
Chamba.
This will be at my holiday party. That's
pretty nice.
For sure. The whole family.
Nobody is going to know what's happening on that.
No, not a soul. Not a soul at any holiday outing I go to wearing this will know what it means. All right, let's go to this weekend now.
Yeah,
rematch, biggest rematch of the year, undoubtedly. Is there anything that could even compete with it for that title? Nothing.
This
boxing, MMA, anything.
This is two of the best boxers right now, and two of the best boxers in heavyweight cruiserweight history facing off. Like this, last time the stakes for this last time were undisputed. It is not now. The IBF title has gone to Daniel Dubois. That's elsewhere. But
Turkey's undisputed belt is on the line.
To me,
this is undisputed.
Tyson Fury already has Turkey's undisputed belt because of how hard he's rooting for him. But this is greatness now, and this is historic greatness in the ring on Saturday. These two are the cream of the crop, the best of the best that we have ever had in this sport. And so the story of this is so much more significant than just like a rematch between two guys who have fought. If Fury cannot right the ship against Usyk, that's going to be a massive stain on his legacy, because his legacy has been like, hey, say what you want about the strength of competition in the era, but like, I've beaten them all. They can't touch me. Usyk comes in from cruiserweight, like a legendary all-time cruiserweight.
Undisputed.
One of the best boxers of all time, moves up to heavyweight, is now lighting the heavyweight division on fire, and then takes out the guy who was the king at heavyweight at that time. It would be it would be monumental for what it could do for Usyk's legacy, which is already, like, as I've said, all-time great. Legend. If he loses, though, I don't think the stakes are as high. But there's still something on the line here in a way that is just beyond, like, the championship belts that are on the line. There's such a pivot point here. This could be make or break in terms of the legacy of Tyson Fury. Like, truly, like a specific moment. I don't feel like the last fight was, even though it was for undisputed. This one feels like the stakes have actually been ratcheted up.
Well, because everything's on the line. Because if you lose twice to him, then it's just bad. Like, okay, well, you had this unbelievable career. You went undefeated. You became champion of the world. But
you can't erase that.
Then you met Usyk and you lost twice. And like, he proved that he was the better guy in this era, in this division, which is even crazy to think about it because you just laid it out. Like, Usyk was a cruiserweight, like a dominant cruiserweight. Now he comes up here, and he hasn't been fighting chumps before Fury either. Like, Joshua twice, Dubois, Chisora. Like,
the best of the era.
It like is absolutely crazy, like, how insane this dude's resume is. Like, Olympic gold medalist before it, obviously still undefeated at this time, and like, he just puts on these incredible performances, like, where he just, like, eats these massive shots and hangs with these dudes that are so much bigger than him. Like, it really is just, like, a battle of, like, titans and, like, dudes at the peak of their game with the deepest resumes. And it's just, like, there's so much stakes on the line. And then just beyond everything that we're saying about how much stakes, legacies, resumes, everything on the line, just go back and watch the first fight and, like, just watch how crazy it was.
Yeah.
And, like, I can guarantee you that fireworks will be delivered on Saturday as well. Like, it feels like Fury is that much locked in than he was last time. Like, he's not joking around. He's admitting to, like, I'm taking this way more serious this time. Like, I have to win this fight. And then Usyk is obviously always dialed in. I think we're in for a banger as well, like, once it gets into the actual ring.
I was really excited about the first one because of the undisputed story, right?
Of course. First time in 25 years.
And just, you know, as we said, Usyk being the dominant cruiserweight coming up and really having such incredible success at heavyweight. I expected him to be very successful at heavyweight. I didn't expect him to be knocking on the door of 2-0 against Tyson Fury after having taken out Joshua. Like, he's exceeded my high expectations for himself to the point that, like, you have to continue to talk about him in the pantheon of all-time boxers.
And the Dubois win has aged very nicely as well.
The current champion. Like, so,
crazy.
yeah.
But yeah, the guy that has the only other belt.
It is now such a significant win. But the stakes on this are so ratcheted up for me. Like, the first time it was all about undisputed for me. I was like, okay, we will have an undisputed champion for the first time in so long, and it will be so significant for boxing. This one I feel like is much more. This is not going to have the same impact on boxing that having an undisputed champion is going to have. This is going to have a more impact on their individual legacies, which is so much more fascinating to me. Because, as we've laid out, the pivot point here is tremendous, but also what you said about Tyson Fury, right? Like, Tyson Fury is extremely hard to read. He's somebody who's just been mercurial, like, throughout his career. Sometimes he's up, sometimes he's down. He's talked about his battles, his insanely hard battles with depression and all these things that he continues to go through. And sometimes he's just that jovial guy who's laughing and you wonder if he's taking it seriously, but then sometimes he has his best performances on the back of that, or sometimes he has a bad performance. He's just an impossible character to read, but it's what makes him so fascinating. So when he says, like, I'm as locked in as I've ever been, I have to take this seriously, I'm coming to hurt, like, all he continues to say is he's coming to hurt Usyk. It's not just like, I'm going to box him up. Because that's what he always says. It's like, I'm going to box his ears off, I'm going to do the thing, I'm going to dance around him. He's saying, I'm trying to hurt this man. And he is saying, there's nothing more important in his life. We have heard that there's been a hiatus on his communications with his wife. Like, he is locked in, according to him. Now, I believe Tyson Fury is always selling. So I don't know if he's telling a tale and it's not true, or if it is true, but either way, it's still equally fascinating to me. He always finds a way to kind of create these moments of drama around himself, and it's just leading to this intensity that transitions perfectly to what we saw in the face-off earlier today, where they locked eyes for 10 minutes.
Let's start ramping it up here. We have the video. It's obviously cranked up on speed.
We're gonna speed it up, but they faced off for 10 straight minutes.
I mean, these guys are about their business.
Yeah,
there's no question about it. I mean, the intensity that these guys share. Like, I mean, they've already met in the ring. They have high respect for it. I was going through and watching a bunch of stuff last night. Like, here we go. I mean, this is...
You can see this is on super speed at this point.
Look at everyone behind them. They're just
If this was a clip on social, it would have been over in 0.1 second because of how sped up it is. Meanwhile, this is still going.
What X speed is this, Jordan? 10x?
This is 10x.
This is 10x the speed. So this will be done in a minute. But they stared at each other for 10 minutes.
There's going to be some jawing here. We're going to see Tyson start to open.
It's so good because everyone around them was moving around.
Hustling, moving.
Do you think there's a part where they're
dancing.
Like, damn, I really have to use the bathroom?
Did they really just take like a break from them staring to go back to them staring? Now they start
Frank,
jawing a little bit.
I don't think they're locked in on the bathroom at the moment.
This is uncut. They just went to a shot of guys dancing right in the middle.
Yeah. Let's get a little drum beat going. They're still staring. Now they're talking a little bit.
Now we got the jawing.
Do they scratch their noses ever?
Oh, no, now we're getting some jawing. Now they're really getting after it.
They were stoic. Okay, so now this clip has been going for. We're gonna hit the minute mark.
Yeah, I mean, that's lengthy. Think about the face-offs in UFC.
5 seconds. It's done.
All right, see you guys. And if they start jawing, then it's just like break them up.
Do you like that? I like the boxing face-off where they really don't try and break them.
It feels different.
Yeah,
just let them stare.
We saw this
intensity. It just mounts. It just builds.
We see this. Tyson does these, and we've seen these from him in the past. Deontay Wilder, the second fight, I believe, comes to mind for me, where he was just there, locked in, and they didn't want to break it. It feels like they have something. I don't think there's true animosity. Do you? I don't feel like they hate each other.
That's what I was going to say. I watched all these docs and breakdowns and everything last night, and I rewatched the whole fight. And then after the fight, Tyson Fury, before the scorecards are read, he goes over to Usyk and he's just like, respect you. You're such a great champion. You're such a great boxer. I'm going to bring my family to Ukraine and we'll vacation there. You come to England on a holiday. We'll get to hang out and blah, 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 blah. I think he thought he probably won the fight at that point. And maybe that's why he was being so courteous and kind. But obviously there's sportsmanship and there's just respect there. I don't think there is actually any animosity, like they hate each other or anything like that.
Yeah, I think they also just recognize the importance of this heavyweight lineage and also just how good the other is. I know they respect each other. I forget which outlet. It was an outlet in the UK. They watched the fight back together. And you can just tell that they were not overly thrilled with anything. They weren't celebrating their own performance. They were just I did my work that night, but it wasn't easy. And it wasn't some fight where they just thought they were going to come in and knock the guy out and did knock the guy out. Even after Usyk dropped Fury, he still had some work to do and he still had to stay on his business. And I just this fight to me is everything. I'm as far as boxing goes, this is as good as it gets. It truly is. If you're out there and you're one of the MMA only type fans that we have, I encourage you to
this fight,
to see this.
Insane. This is what you dream for in a boxing match. Heavyweight division, undisputed on the line last time. Now essentially undisputed. One of the belts got loose to Dubois, but Alexander Usyk has a win over him. This is for the best heavyweight in the world. Two great personalities.
Lineal for sure. That you can know
for sure.
Lineal.
And they'll hold up the undisputed belt. Is that on the line actually?
Oh, I don't guess
the
not.
Turkey undisputed.
Yeah, the one that they created for this. Yeah,
two great personalities. Alexander Usyk, he's he doesn't have perfect English and he's much more reserved, but his personality shines through and the clothes he wears, the little phrases that he says, the dances that he does, everything like that. He has this great personality, and then obviously Tyson Fury's personality is bigger than the world itself. And then they're also sick once they get into the ring. This is everything that you could possibly wish for in a boxing match. Not just a heavyweight boxing match, just a boxing match, period. Just a fight, period.
It's a great point, and you said it perfect. They're great boxers, right? When you think
they're so good, dude.
When you think of even the Deontay Wilder series with Tyson Fury, I don't think I'm talking out of school to say Deontay Wilder is not a great technical boxer. Deontay Wilder's gift is when he touches you, you go to sleep. That is his gift. Sure. These guys are just such great technicians. Tyson Fury, as we know, for the size that he carries, the way he's able to move and stick, he's unlike anybody we've kind of seen at that size. You just don't see guys who move like he does and have the ring craft that he has. And then Usyk is just a master technician who just everything is picture perfect, and that's how he's so successful. It's
being technical, defensive,
the cardio,
sound,
just never stopping. Yeah, it's the best of what we have, and they are facing each other, and it's almost I have to say, I feel like this one's flying more under the radar because it doesn't have that undisputed sheen.
It feels that way. It feels like I'm trying to sell it, even though
I am more fascinated now.
Yeah.
I am so much more fascinated by this one
because not only if Fury loses, it's this massive stain on his legacy, everything like that, and then it bolsters Usyk up into this, like, is this guy one of the greatest boxers of all time? Like, what he's been able to accomplish in both these divisions.
The resume is, like, unmatchable.
Unmatchable. It would simply be unbelievable. And then on the flip side, if Tyson wins, then it's just like, okay, now we get a third one, which is going to be a super duper mega fight. And the fact that we're getting Tyson Fury versus Alexander Usyk for a second time in a calendar year, when it felt like this fight that we were just never going to get. At one point, Usyk accepted a 70-30 purse breakdown, and it ended up being, cap from Tyson Fury. And then Tyson goes and fights Francis Ngannou, and Usyk is there waiting, and he's just like, dude, well, like, you're fighting an MMA fighter, but you're ducking me and everything like that. It felt like we were never going to get the fight. Now we're getting it twice in 1 year. And if Tyson Fury wins, we could get it for a third time in the span of, like, 16 months, 12, 14 months.
Yeah.
Like, it's just incredible to know that we're getting these fights now.
Yeah, the best of the best are just, credit to Turkey and Saudi Arabia. They are making these things happen in a way prior to that they were not. Like, these fights were just not materializing. How long have we been waiting for the Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua inevitable fight? Like, it feels like my lifetime. It feels like since I've been born, I've been waiting for the Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua fight. I think there's a realistic chance on the back end of this is if Tyson Fury loses to Usyk, that we see Anthony Joshua versus Tyson Fury. I think it's realistic. Like, even if Tyson Fury wins this fight, they do the trilogy, the next fight after that could be Anthony Joshua. The fights that we were not having made before now seem possible, and this is one of those. Like, this is just the best.
Also, if Usyk wins, he's just like the reigning champion of England. They've just thrown everyone.
He's the reigning champion of the world. Like, in my mind, I know
of
there's,
course
there's
a
belt
but I'm
out
saying
there.
like he owns the country of England.
He's the mayor, like LeBron was for Toronto. I wonder if he just walks away though.
That's what I was going to ask you.
Okay.
Do you think either guy retires?
Tyson. I try to make predictions about Tyson Fury, and I just don't. It's like impossible. I go. I do 6 laps in my brain before I arrive anywhere, and then I just still feel like I don't know. When it comes to like, oh, is Tyson Fury locked in or not? Is Tyson Fury gonna even win this fight? Like, one of the things that I keep thinking about is like, I think Tyson Fury is going to win this fight. I think I saw enough in the first fight that made me believe that Tyson Fury has the tools to win this fight. I felt that way going in. I thought he was going to be too big for Usyk. But I don't know. Like, he's just such a complicated figure, even when it comes to like just predicting how he looks, how he's acting and talking. I say all that to say it'd be impossible for me to know if he's going to walk away, win or lose. Like, definitely not win. If he wins, I feel like trilogy makes a lot of sense. You 100%. Stay that way. If he loses, it's like, I don't know. How much more is there to prove? Like, maybe you do the Joshua fight.
I was going to say, I actually don't think either guy's going to retire. I think if Tyson Fury loses, then he's just going to, even if he says he's going to retire, he's just going to end up fighting Anthony Joshua at some point at Wembley and just make insane money and be like one of the biggest fights in history. And if Alexander Usyk loses, obviously the trilogy is there waiting for him. Maybe
if he wins, though.
Maybe if Usyk wins,
dude.
Maybe
if you could walk out on the Grand Slam shot of all these heavyweights capped off by two times against Tyson Fury, one for undisputed, that's that Khabib ending. Now, I think there was a little more mileage in the Khabib thing, if I'm being honest. Like, I think we could have probably got a few more and he would have won those. But
Usyk is about to turn 38 next month.
You're walking off like
23-0, but like an extensive amateur career, like was a world champion as an amateur, won an Olympic gold medal.
One of
like
the best cruiserweights.
Dude got miles on him despite his pro record only being, if he wins, 23-0.
Man, I don't know how you even get up for another challenge. Like,
what is the next challenge?
Well, I guess I suppose it would be Dubois or Joyce winner, but it's just like
Dubois Parker.
Sorry, Dubois Parker.
But man, why would you want Dubois again?
Yeah.
Especially after the scare in that fight.
Look, those are compelling fights. Parker and Dubois are both compelling matchups for Usyk, but for him, is it compelling? Like, it's a good fight, but is it compelling for your legacy? Like,
is it compelling for a wide audience? Usyk Parker?
I mean, Dubois got some heat. Parker's been on a hell of a tear.
I know he's been on a tear, and they're both incredible boxers. Don't get me wrong. But, like, is it going to do, hundreds of thousands of pay-per-view buys, a massive night for boxing, everything like that? Or is it just like heavyweight titles are on the line tonight?
I think it depends a little bit where you're going. it would be for undisputed again if we're combining the belts.
And is Usyk just getting like that big at that point? If you have 2 wins over Tyson Fury, are you just becoming like this mega star on your own?
I just feel like he's gonna have made so much money from these 2 fights.
Yeah,
like
38 years old.
What do you got left?
Loves his
at
wife
this point?
and kids.
Yeah, just.
I was watching a documentary last night, and he's talking about like when he's in there and he hears people shouting at him. All he can hear is his coaches and his wife.
Yeah, and he's talked about that special relationship with his father, and like you have to imagine somewhere that guy's proud of the 2 things that he's been able to do in these last 2 fights against Fury. If he's able to do it on Saturday, like I don't know, man, it would be the perfect storybook ending. It would be the perfect storybook ending.
All right, let's go to the fight itself.
Yeah,
you mentioned that Tyson Fury's been saying he's going to come out here and he's trying to hurt Alexander Usyk, like he's trying to put him out. He had a lot of success in the first 6 rounds of the last fight. It was looking like, man, Tyson Fury might just like kind of run away with this thing. Like he's just too big, he's just too fast, he's elusive. Like he's looking great right now. Do you think he comes out here in an aggressive style, trying to actually hurt Alexander Usyk, finish him, and get him out of there because of the motor that Alexander Usyk has, the chin that Alexander Usyk has, and just like the cardio and the pace that he can put on you? Is that sustainable for Tyson Fury over 12 rounds?
So we've seen a few different versions of Fury. The 2 that I tend to like point to and feel like exist most in recent years are there's the one that's the springier. I'm on my feet. I'm throwing out the jab. I'm keeping it light, and I'm really just sticking and moving. And we saw mostly that one against Usyk.
I feel like you have to fight that way against Usyk.
Well, there's another version of
Usyk isn't going to let you just stand there and just.
There's another version of Tyson Fury, and I think we saw this in the second Wilder fight. Maybe my memory is failing me, which was I'm actually going to be heavier on my feet, and I'm going to throw to hurt you. I'm going to throw to knock you out. That's a different mode, and that's a different type of thing. I wonder if the takeaway from Fury was, if I give Usyk too many rounds, there's going to be a time where he's going to have some success. So maybe I do need to take him out. Maybe I do need to like hurt him badly to the point where he's not going to be around when that final bell rings and that I'm going to be there to be hit. So maybe he doesn't. Maybe he stands his ground and thinks, I've got more power than you've got. I'm the bigger man than you are. I've got more leverage on my punches than you've got. I'm going to stand here, and if you want to come to me, you want to bring the storm to me, which Usyk always does. He is the man moving forward at all times. I'm going to stand here and try and repel it with the best I've got. I think that could be successful ultimately, but I wonder which version is going to show up. Maybe there's this mid ground.
Also, the confidence that he has coming out here, and he has said multiple times in interviews this week, he's just like, Usyk had me on Bambi legs, man, and he got about 10 free punches to knock me out, and he couldn't. So I wonder if he's just like, you gave me your best shot, man, and I'm not going to go down. So now I'm willing to accept the bombs in trading bombs on you and knock you out.
Usyk's calling card is not like otherworldly power,
right?
And we've seen.
But that left hand landed so flush.
It was one of the clean. Yeah, it was a beauty. But we've seen Tyson Fury get up off the mat after getting nuked by Deontay Wilder. We've seen him knocked down multiple times. Bed. Yeah, life back in him from Deontay Wilder. Multiple times get knocked down by Wilder. The man can take shots with the best of them. And even in the Usyk fight, like there were some later rounds where I was like, oh, he's back. Like he's back in this fight. He's abnormal when it comes to that. The recovery is insane. I compare him and Joshua a lot when I think about Anthony Joshua because Joshua gets a bad rap for like a quote unquote bad chin. It's not really his chin. He's kind of got an uncanny ability to take a punch. It's actually the recovery. Like once he gets hit, he's down for the count, but he's not slept. You don't sleep Anthony Joshua. You just really knock him down pretty bad, and then you have to finish him off. Tyson Fury has insane recovery. That's the big difference. When you knock him down,
worldly recovery.
In 2 minutes from then, he's going to be back on his shit. And it's just like, what? Like
he was literally in the Wilder fight shaking hands with God. He was up in heaven and then just like, I'm back. Forces a second fight. Forces
back
literally. Like that is one of the craziest highlights I've ever seen, especially when like people had music to it and everything. And it's just like he was flat on his ass and then just eyes wide, right back up. Like it really is true. Like his ability to recover.
But I say that to say the recovery is what is so important. And so I wonder if he's just going to be willing to accept the fire, right? Like I felt like in the first fight he was trying to box. He was really trying to be crafty. He was trying to box, and Usyk was just getting to him at a certain point. The body shots, the pace that he was putting on, being in Fury's face the whole time. I wonder if he'll be willing to say, I'm going to accept this, and win or lose, I'm going to stand here and I'm going to trade. I think he has an advantage in that scenario. I truly do, like, just because of his physical gifts, but it's a hard thing to kind of mentally wrap your head around. Like,
Usyk also has an insane chin.
Like, because Fury bombed on him a few times in that fight.
Oh, a couple of those uppercuts that landed too.
Oh, yeah.
Fucking massive.
The uppercuts early were sick.
Yeah, man. So it's just like Fury doesn't have that life-altering power either. No. Like, he can knock people out, obviously. Well, he's a massive heavyweight with big power, but, like, it's not like a Deontay Wilder, like, I'm going to separate
nobody
you from
has that.
Every time.
Ngannou, Wilder.
And so with Usyk's chin, like, it's just like, oh, are you going to knock him out?
I think sometimes Tyson doesn't get enough credit for his power because he fights differently most of the time. Because most of the time he is on his bike and he is kind of circling and jabbing and just really keeping you, like, at bay with his physical gifts, with his weapons. He doesn't get enough credit for how much power he actually probably does have. And I think Usyk the same, right? Like, Usyk's constantly moving, constantly throwing things to confuse you. When he does land clean, like he did. I mean, heavyweight boxing, like, if any of these guys land clean, it's really bad. It's devastating consequences. Tyson Fury just has that uncanny ability to kind of overcome those. And in his life, he's just kind of had an uncanny ability to overcome some of this stuff. But I'm just like, I'm thrilled at this fight from a technical standpoint, from a strategy standpoint, from a stakes standpoint. It has everything I want. I can't wait to watch this on Saturday.
It has everything I want. Love the personalities involved. Love the stakes that are at hand here. Like, it's just like, I just love everything about this fight. I can't wait to watch it again. Hopefully we get 36 minutes or maybe a little bit shorter if there's a finish or something like that. But, like,
something in my bones tells me there's going to be a finish. I feel a finish.
Oh, I love it. Tyson Fury claiming to be much more locked in, says he hasn't talked to his wife and kids in 3 months, everything like that. He seems very serious. He did an open workout yesterday. That's getting a lot of talk right now in the media and everything, just because the way he shows up. He's not here for a long time. He's here for a good time.
We're gonna show the full open workout.
Shows up, hoodie, gets the gloves tied.
This is a man who's about to do a good session. You know, just get the sweat on.
What do you think the coach is saying to him? And do you think the coach knows the plan?
Yeah, I think no. Yeah, they know what's happening here.
I wonder what they're saying to each other.
You know, a lot of, like, we've seen this before from.
Look at the pyramid in the background.
Yeah, different. I remember seeing Ariel when we brought in Ariel on the MMA hour, like looking in the similar setting here. No, but you know when you're heading into these open workouts what the plan's going to be. So it looks like, oh yeah, Tyson's got his hoodie on. He's going to get a good sweat in, hit the mitts for a little bit, and then we're out of here.
Around.
You know? I mean, look at the scenics here.
It looks crazy, man. Carnival.
All this footage, by the way, courtesy of our friends at DAZN.
Shout out to DAZN.
All right, he's bouncing. He's still bouncing.
Ready. We're feeling good out here.
All right.
Here we go. Gypsy King's about to put in a lot of work. And we're going right back across the ring.
And we're done.
And that's it. That is it. I mean, he really is just he's a salesman. He's a showman. Get the bow. Really, he really sold it like he was about to do something.
Again, he's so is that good? Is that bad? I don't know. I have no idea what to make of it.
I take nothing away from that. I don't think it means anything.
He's just this. He's one of the most fascinating characters we've seen, and I don't know if I can.
He really
think
is
of a comparison.
Our friend Ariel was interviewing him earlier this week, and he like asked him. He said something about, like, I think that old Tyson is still there, and Tyson's just like, is he?
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know if he's still there or not. I don't know if I still have it.
But even when he says stuff like that, is he selling? Is he going, I don't know if I still have it? And in his head, he's like, of course I fucking still have it. I'm going to knock this guy out.
Because that's actually how he ends the interview. He's just like, oh yeah, before we get out of here, just by the way, I'm going to beat the shit out of him.
Or is there a part of him that doubts himself and he's just being open with it? Because he's been open with so much else. You because of the carny nature, like, and there's guys like this, like Chael Sonnen, and like there's guys like this who everything is theatrics, everything is a performance. Pro wrestlers, obviously, like there's everything is the theatrics, everything is the performance. And Tyson is a huge fan of pro wrestling. You just don't know, like, are they being genuine in that moment? Are they not? Is it both? Are they being both genuine and still performing? He's walked that line in such a fascinating way for so many years. And this may be, you know, one of the last times we kind of see him. I just appreciate everything we've seen from Tyson Fury.
The personalities are great. The fight itself is great. The stakes are great and everything like that. The promotion for it has been unbelievable as well. If you're unsure of whether or not you want to watch this fight, I don't know why you'd be watching this show if you're unsure of whether or not you want to watch it or not. Go and watch the promo that Riyadh Season put out. It's one of the most highly produced packages I've ever seen. It's like a horror movie. Like a movie. Yeah. And then go, I think it's TNT Sports may have posted it. Maybe DAZN did too. I think a couple outlets have posted the full fight from May. You can just watch it for free on YouTube. Go back and watch that and get yourself hyped. One other thing I did want to shout, Turkey Al-Sheikh tweeted a couple posters earlier today, like these like hand-drawn posters.
These are
so
sick.
good. It's so good, man. Like it's like watercolor paintings of the two guys fighting. It's just so good. I also do love how whenever they do these drawings, like they make Tyson like jacked. Like he's just like definition
that he's
and
not
cut.
flabby.
Even though like he comes out, he's just like, "Yep, I'm a fat bastard," but that's what helps me. Like those are his exact words. And then
he was wearing the uncrowned crown on that one.
Exactly. Yeah. Not only the promotion, but also the look of both these guys. First, we'll start with Tyson. Really good for the beard bald brand, the Triple B right now that I so proudly represent. Me and Tyson Fury side by side. I mean, it's uncanny. I mean, we look.
Wow.
I mean, we look almost the exact same. His skin is a little bit better than mine.
Wait, which one's Tyson?
Tyson's on the left. No. Tyson's on the right. Tyson's on the right.
Okay.
I am on the left. And then us getting hyped up. I mean, we just like we look so good. We look so. I mean, which one is which? Which one is
who's
which?
who?
We both got a little bit of crookedness in the teeth. You know, it's
come on, you guys look great. This is incredible.
His skin, man. His skin is great for his age. I have to say. And then the look of Tyson Fury, and then the last thing I have to say, the style of Alexander Usyk,
the swag,
also bald. He is bald inspiration. This is how you look good with the bald head. I have to say, I don't know if you can see it in this picture. The fur over the shoulder has eyes that are jewels, and they are Ukrainian colors. With the long coat, the purple, absolutely tremendous. His walkout from last time, I mean, just dripping in the green overcoat with the fur hat. I mean, this guy is
the fit is next level. The fit
always
is like
fitted out,
incredible.
The presser, he comes out with the Hitman.
The Hitman.
Had Tyson Fury sign that picture, like he's such a troll in his own
such
right.
A goof.
Like he's so goofy in his own way. I mean, the Hitman was just so good. When he walks in with the briefcase, it's just like, I mean, he just looks. He looks like such a stud.
Let me say the look for this week though.
Maybe that's why I like it so much. These guys are so good for the bald brand.
They are good for the ball brand.
You know, invest now when you can, folks.
Get in on the stocks. The fit's incredible, but this week, I got to say, my attention goes straight to the mustache.
Oh, the mustache
is so good. It's so perfect.
You got to be a certain type of human being to rock bald with the mustache.
But his is so like, the so angles on it are so perfect.
I could never rock a mustache that well.
Look at that stash.
It's just... And also,
and there's the jewels that you were talking about.
The jewels right there are in Ukrainian blue and blue and gold. And then he's got the like, I don't even know what it is. It's out of my page, my money range here. The silver link across, keeping the fur in place,
and the dangly earring. Don't forget the dangly
earring is another like. Swag piece that you gotta have it if you're gonna rock it. I could not rock it.
You need to be Usyk.
I walk into work with a dangly earring. Y'all look at each other. I don't know if you say it directly to me or as soon as I walk out of the room, but you're just like, what the fuck was that? Was he wearing a dangly earring? Like there are like I think of like Odell Beckham Jr. rocks a dangly earring and like looks cool with it. I feel like I've seen Lewis Hamilton do it.
Michael Jordan
does
I mean, he's more famous for the hoop, but you see it. Like,
Usyk, like. You got to have a special type of swag to rock the dangly.
If you're not, he pulls it off 1,000%.
Dude, he pulls off just about anything.
Like if you go to the encyclopedia for dangly earring, it's his picture.
Here, I'm actually looking it up right now.
You said Barry, right? Barry Bonds?
Oh,
Barry Bonds, the cross.
Bro. Dangly earring. I'm in the encyclopedia right now, and it's a picture of Usyk. You're right, Frank. That's crazy. That's crazy.
I've been a stud earring guy my entire life. I never once thought I had the swag to pull off the dangle. I just can't.
I joked about it one time with my girlfriend, and it was like vehement.
Wait, are your ears pierced though?
No.
You were gonna get it. I
was like, yeah. Once I go bald, I'll get the pierce with the dangly earring. And she was like, she's like, wait, are you serious? She's like, no, you can't do that. I was like, but it looks so cool. She's like, yeah, it looks so cool on them. It won't look cool on you.
Was that like a
6'1"? What's up, guys? How about my earring?
Now, was that an ego? Like, did that hurt the soul, or were you just kind of like?
I threw it out jokingly, but like, also if she was just like, "Oh, that'd be sick," I'd be like, "All right, let's do it."
All right.
It's just like
there has to be a little bit of
like lobbed it up there.
There has to be a little bit of appreciation that she didn't let you.
Yeah.
Do it.
Dunked me right down.
Yeah.
I also feel like I need a combo. Like if I had like a couple, like if I got the tattoo sleeve or something like that.
Yeah, you do.
31 years old. I'm too old for this.
Yeah, you do. You have to have something to pull it off.
Yeah, I mean,
all right.
Usyk posted one this week where he's just like, it's just like black and white of him just rocking the bald mustache. I'm just like, this is what I'm striving to get as a bald man. Like, it's just like, if I can just look like this.
Bald goals.
All right, official prediction for the fight.
I think I have Tyson Fury by knockout. I think he's going to stop Usyk.
I just showed so much love to my brother in bald, Usyk, the style, the charisma, the riz, as they say, the drip, as they say. I just wanted to back that up and, speak to the youth there as well. I'm such a fan of his. I really do. And like, I bet on him in May, and I was going so crazy when he won, especially in that 9th round.
Yeah.
I was watching in a hotel room on a damn iPad and like almost got a noise complaint. I was going so crazy in that 9th round. But there's just like something in me with the way that Tyson Fury is so locked in and everything like that. I'm actually, my official prediction is going to be Tyson Fury by points in like a razor close decision.
Damn.
Because like that.
Fury's actually happy to hear this.
Oh,
look at him go.
Oh, wow.
Not only is he dancing.
Is this a live shot?
Yes. He
just heard Conor's prediction?
he wasn't so great about the by
celebrating
points.
They're celebrating in Riyadh because Conor picked Tyson Fury by points. Not only that dance, Usyk hit the Donald Trump dance.
Did he actually?
During the grand arrivals, yeah. Whether he knew it was Donald Trump, I don't know. There's just something in me. I'm going Tyson Fury by points. Then they do a trilogy. Then by that point, Usyk will be like halfway to 39. Fury will be a little bit older. They do a trilogy, and it's like, this is our final fights.
Both
Everything on the line for us to be, even if it's not, even if Fury ends up doing the Joshua afterward, they sell it like that. This is it for all the marbles, heavyweight supremacy of this generation, and it's just a super duper, uber mega fight.
The trilogy would, especially if Fury can look as good as Usyk looked in the last fight. Now, it was a close fight, but the most dominating moments were from Usyk. He was the one doing the harder
Fury
damage.
won rounds, but like Usyk had those moments that you're like, I watched a documentary last night called The 9th Round, and it was like 40 minutes.
That was
like
the round.
The lead up to the 9th round and how crazy it was.
If Fury can look as good as that or better, it sets up for a trilogy that's just going to be blockbuster.
Also, last thing I have to say about Usyk, love a good southpaw. Love a good southpaw. It's just, things just look cooler when you do it left.
Yeah.
Especially when you're really good at it like Usyk. All right, so those are the predictions for the fight. Fury by knockout, Fury by points, but I say that unconvincingly. And I will also be cheering for my man Alexander Usyk. But I'm cool with the trilogy as well. Before we move on from this fight, though, Alexander Usyk, the victor in the first fight, so we had to celebrate him some way, somehow. So Fight Feast, me, you, and Frankie, we hopped in the old Winnebago, took it on down the block to Veselka to try some of the finest Ukrainian fare. Take a look. Please enjoy. All right, Mysterious, we are back. Another episode of Fight Feast, this time for Ukrainian food. Alexander Usyk, Tyson Fury 2, the biggest rematch of the year. So the victor from the first one, Alexander Usyk, we are here to try his national cuisine, Veselka, in the Ukrainian village. I think we're at the right spot. Fight Feast, episode 14. Another Eastern European affair. Let's go. Okay, this place is always popping. Every time I pass it, it's got a line out the door, and we're about to find out whether rightfully so or not. Got some amazing artwork outside. Just getting me hyped up to eat some beets. Upscale diner feel to the place. Plenty of blue and gold all over. We're not here for the decorations. We're here for the food. Let's find out what the hype is about. My Usyk shirt didn't get here in time, so we're working with what we got. I didn't feel though. Lvivsky? I mean, look at that. It says Ukraine on the label right there. 1715. Let's try it out of the bottle, too. Hate to say it, it tastes like a standard beer. But it's good. I could drink 10 of these. Maybe not 10. All right, here we go. The borscht. This is like a beet soup. Oh, yeah, wow. This is... I'm actually a big fan of beets. Lost one there to the table. It's great. Vinegary, beety. I'm gonna be pissing red tomorrow. My Ukrainian tour guide, Mysterious Frank here, has told me I need to put a dollop of sour cream in here. I think that makes it better. What are these, noodles? What do we,
dumpling?
What do we think this is? Dumpling?
Yeah, some kind of dumpling.
Oh yeah. Potato or something in there. That's tremendous. Yeah, sorry boys. I don't know if you're getting any of this. This is fantastic. Shout out. Look at that beautiful purple color right there. Top notch. This is way better than I was expecting. This is halubsi. This is stuffed cabbage. We went with mushroom gravy on top and a side of beet horseradish salad, steaming hot. Cabbage gives an odd texture, kind of like crunchy but chewy at the same time. I don't think I love it. Beets are great though. Shout out to the beets. Oh man, nice horseradish kick in there. Yeah. The filling and the gravy is fantastic on this. Texture of the cabbage though, don't love it. All right, here we go. Vareniki pierogies. We got half cheese, half potato, sour cream dipping sauce. Is this a hand food? Do I fork this? I mean, it's too late now. We're doing the hands. Little sauerkraut right here. This is potato. I mean, how can you not love this? Ten out of 10. 10 out of 10. I knew I was gonna love it going into it. That was potato. Let's try a cheese one. Dough, cheese, boiled. Could have got them fried. Way to recommend boiled. Like a fucking cartoon, I could just pile these into my mouth and just slurp them down. These are unbelievable. Legit 10 out of 10. All right, here we go. We got the Daruni potato pancake, latke, whatever you want to call it, sour cream, applesauce with it. We're just going hands tonight. We're just on the all hands team here. Beautiful crispy crunch. Get them both going. It's like a giant hash brown. Until I moved up to the Northeast, I had no idea you dipped applesauce in these. But it's the weirdest combination that just goes so right together. And these are tremendous too. Shout out, Hanukkah just around the corner. Get your latkes going. Fry up the oil. Other than the cabbage so far, everything has been 5 stars. We got Rick's cabbage review coming soon. He's gonna fucking love it, the freak. Rick loves everything I hate.
It's fucking amazing. It's fucking amazing.
One more bite for the people, Rick. One more bite.
Yeah, I'm bringing this home to my wife.
All right, stuffed cabbage on the menu at the Jackman household. Down the old. Shout out to the pierogies. Nalisnika, I believe I have that right. A blend, a crepe, whatever you want to call it. Is this more sour cream? The Ukrainians love sour cream, man. Good thing I love sour cream too. Get a little bit of that on there. A little raspberry as well. Oh, don't mind if I do. Yeah. Yeah. dough and like cheese and fruit and mushroom, like everything that's going on in this meal is just fantastic. So take 2. All right, we just fucked it. We fucked it. I'm just gonna eat it. Either way, the Berlin's unbelievable. Dare I say, the Ukrainians do crepes better than the French. This is a honey layer cake, Medovic. Yeah, like, look at how many fucking layers this thing is. This is an absolute beauty. Looks like a New York skyscraper. Here we go. Wow. Whoa. Oh, man. Icing between each layer. Moist. Are you someone that gets weirded out by the word moist? I got friends like that, you know? It tastes like graham crackers with like frosting in between each bite. It's unbelievable. All right, this is the hazelnut praline torte. This comes highly recommended. The greatest cake she's ever had. Andy in the control room. If you're watching right now, this is all on you. I hope you're watching because we'll be doing the show, but looks like there may be a little like strawberry, a little raspberry in there. This one's a little bit tougher to get through. Look at that fork integrity. Look at that balance that I have. Here we go. Okay.
Turn it around.
Okay. Soft cake, soft cake, soft cake. Crunchy at the bottom. Unreal. I get it now, Andy. I understand it now. Take on the New York staple black and white cookie. Blue and gold, Ukrainian colors. You know the tradition, Frankie. We don't choose sides here. Split it in half, right down the middle, like a sandwich.
Every time you do this, Lady Liberty cries. It's here.
I got water this time. Stickiest thing you've ever eaten. It's okay.
Out of 10?
6. Worst dessert for sure. A little bit dry.
More of a novelty.
Frosting isn't great. A little bit more of a novelty, yeah.
Show people you've been here.
It's fun. I like the blue and gold as opposed to black and white.
Yeah.
Get the 2 cakes though. The 2 cakes are fantastic. Give it to Rick.
Oh, come on.
Rick.
Delicious.
Out of 10?
15.
The guy's a fucking garbage disposal. You just give him everything and he'll eat it. He'll be like, greatest thing I've ever eaten.
Yellow better than blue.
Wow. He says yellow better than blue. I just had this blue separately. Here we go, yellow. Tastes exactly the same to me. Frank, I think I lost the mic magnet. Frank, what'd you think of the meal?
I am filled. I am very filled.
All right, Frankie Mysterio, another successful fight feast. These places, they just keep topping themselves. I mean, this somehow I think might have been better than the Kazakhstan food. I don't know if we'll go that far. But yeah, Veselka here in the Ukrainian village. Look at this. We got the blue and yellow, the Ukrainian national home. I mean, we're really living it. Alexander Usyk this weekend. Tyson Fury 2, biggest rematch of the year. Out of 10? I think another 10. Everything I put in my mouth except for the cabbage was unbelievable. Fight Feast episode 14. Until next time. Peace. Blu-ray. Out now. They ordered on Apple TV. God, that was great.
It was tremendous.
As we just rewatched that, we were like, I want to go back right now.
Yeah.
The problem is we don't know what we would order because everything was good. Every single thing.
I'll tell you what,
good.
we're getting 3 orders of borscht. I'm not allowing this to happen again. I watched this happen again, and I'm like, this is so much bullshit that you even told us. You're like, I don't know if you guys are going to get any of this. To point it out to everyone at home.
You did, by the way.
You did not leave any at home for I had 1 bite and it was done.
Okay,
I got none. So.
In my defense, as we're ordering, I was just like, what do you guys think? Bowl, cup, and Frank, you were the one that said, get the smallest one possible. I was like, okay, well, we'll just get a cup then. We also could have just ordered another one. In
fact, I did order another one and took it home to my wife, and I did bring the cabbage home to my wife.
It really was incredible. How good the borscht is for what it is. Like if you were just like if you Google it, it literally just says a hearty beet soup. I'd be like, I like boots. I don't know how good this is going to be. It was like vinegary and like tangy, and the texture and the consistency of the potato dumpling, whatever that was in there, was just unbelievable. Like it really was. The borscht was incredible.
The key was it was the Christmas borscht. That was what we got.
Oh God! So that's a limited run.
I don't know
we
if
had
it's
the Christmas
limited,
borscht,
but that was the Christmas borscht.
Also, the color of it when you dunk the bread in it, like the bread just becomes this beautiful purple. It was amazing. And
I'm pretty sure it's the same borscht as usual. They just like do a little loop around, and they're like, "Oh, this is for Christmas."
Oh, is that why they brought the mistletoe and you kissed the waiter?
They're like they wear the Santa Claus hat. They're like, you ordered the borscht.
It all makes sense. I was like, why is Frank kissing the waiter?
Frank, review.
Honestly, I had been there before.
Wow, and you never told us.
I never told you, and I had a great time. But then, like, this was even better. Like, I don't know.
Was it the company?
No, it definitely wasn't the company.
No, because the admittance is I had actually been with
something
Frank
else that the people at home didn't get to see is that I had to pull the cake off of the table because here I am filming. And I see what's happening. This is like borscht version 2. The cake is going to disappear before I get a bite. So I pull it off the table, and then these two were like hungry dogs waiting for me to open the can of food, waiting for me to put the plate back on the table.
The cakes were so good, dude. The cakes were so good.
Specifically, the one that Andy recommended was just next level, like off the charts.
No bullshit. I could eat 20 of those pierogies too.
Oh,
those
the pierogies
I could
sure.
just like it.
Pierogi is the plural of pierogi.
Oh, so I could eat 20 of the pierogi?
Yeah. Someone in chat wanted to point that out.
I don't like the way that comes off the top.
Yeah.
I don't think they like it when you're at the restaurant. You're like, can I get an order of pierogies?
I said an order of Varanek, and the guy was like, this dude knows ball.
He knows ball.
He was like, who are you taking, Usyk or Fury?
There's another fourth wall breaker that we have to do.
Break it.
You left the restaurant to do some B-roll or something, and then Rick and I started chopping it up with the waiter. He's from Poland.
He had so many good recommendations.
I started suspecting
they're neighbors, though. They're neighbors.
I told Rick, I was like, I bet all the recommendations he made are like great Polish dishes.
No, I bet his last name was still
like
Insky.
Is like, get out of here with this Polish stuff.
It was disappointing.
Yeah, it was.
Actually, though, it wasn't disappointing because he was incredible.
Then I overheard another table. They were like, how are the fajitas? And he's like, I'm actually from Mexico. And I'm like, no, this is just this guy's bit.
If someone ordered fajitas there, I would leave. I would get up and leave. That is not a place you go for fajitas.
They have the sizzling plate that they come out.
I'm going to have to get the Blu-ray. I'm going to have to watch the movie. I actually saw somewhere that it was... I saw somewhere that it had like a 9.3 on IMDb. If you're an IMDb-er, this is a big time. Great poster.
Maybe some people who don't have Yelp are running there to do food reviews. That's the 9.3.
An hour 46 too. The rainbow on the corner at the center of the world. I have to watch this now.
Yeah, the food was that good.
Vasilka, shout out, man.
Yeah,
unbelievable.
Incredible.
Great way to end the conversation around Fury and Usyk. But before we go, I do have 3 quick bets for the card this weekend.
Wait, what about a recap?
A recap from last week's bets?
Yeah.
We won the Parlay Pals.
Mm-hmm.
Damn right we did.
Damn right.
I won betting like up 2.5 units.
Love it.
I'm not going to lie. I completely forgot to make graphics for this.
Okay, that's all right.
I mean, our graphics team didn't get to it. I can actually tell you right now how much I finished up. But the Parlay Pals won.
Shut up.
We are now up like 6.7 units.
Let's go.
In this new era. I mean, we just do what we do. Like, you continue to doubt us. We got the champ on our side.
Real quick, though, are we tracking it by new era or by year? So, like, are we resetting the timer?
Nah, just new era.
New era.
We're just tracking it by...
Until we start losing horribly, and then we're...
Yeah, and then we'll be like, all right, we'll reset it now. We'll reset it now. No. We are tracking for new era, and I'm also going to track my bets for new era because every time we would restart the year at the MMA hour, I felt this, like, innate pressure. I was like, damn, we're right back at 0. Now I have to prove, like, I can win again. Even though it was just like... Down 2 units in 2024, up 105 all time. People were like, you're losing on the year.
The year delineation was like arbitrary and making it feel like you're not doing as good.
I won 2.62 units last week, but I won a lot more money. Shout out to Jay Singh on Twitter. Real ones know. Takedown props. Jay Singh on Twitter. Real ones know. That is all I'll say. All right, the bets for this week. First up, and I'm not going to act like I am some deep in the boxing lore. Shout out to my guy Boxing Gyms on YouTube, JGEMS. He actually passed off most of these to me just by watching his video. Isaac Lowe as a dog, he gave a great breakdown on it, and I'm just going to trust him for it. Isaac Lowe as a dog. A lot of these lines are super blown out, so you kind of got to go with what you got. Itama versus
McKean, a lot of people think Atama's just going to blow his doors off and get the finish. I actually think this is a step up. I will take the over 6.5. Won't be shocked if it goes all 10 rounds. Over 6.5, though, even money. And then the main event, it's my prediction that I said earlier, essentially because of the line, plus 350. Tyson Fury by decision. I think it's a very close fight, just like the last one. I think it's a very close decision. Fury gets the nod. Book the trilogy. Everything on the line. Turkey makes it happen. Biggest fight of the century.
Yeah, biggest heavyweight fight. Do you know the money line? What is the money line right now?
Money line right now is Alexander Usyk is the slight favorite at some books minus 125. Tyson Fury plus 110.
Okay, so close. Coin flip.
I think it is a coin flip fight, dude. I think it's 50-50.
I will admit, I'm a little surprised on that just by the feeling that Usyk, beat Fury thoroughly. But if you watch the fight, I do feel like it is just an even fight.
Yeah. I think it's going to be very close. I mean, the fight in May was very, very close.
Yeah, it didn't feel that because the moment of the knockdown was so massive.
It was so
He had
massive.
him stumbling around like he was a newborn deer. It was insane.
And even Tyson Fury admits to that. Bambi legs.
Yeah.
I can't wait for it, dude. I can't wait for it. It's not the greatest card of all time, for sure. Like this is kind of the more quintessential boxing card where it's just like you're there for the main event. But man,
what a main event.
That main event is special, man. I can't wait for it. And 12 rounds, 36 minutes. You always say when you talk about professional boxing, like it really gives you an opportunity to just like write a story. And there's so many ebbs and flows and ups and downs, the personalities at play, the stakes at play. It's going to be tremendous. So yeah, watch it with us. I said I watched it in a hotel room on an iPad last time. I'm going to be watching it on a big screen right here with you guys. Watch party kicking off at 4 o'clock Eastern.
4 o'clock.
4 o'clock Eastern.
Be there,
Find us
be
right
square.
here on this very YouTube channel, and we will watch Tyson Fury, Alexander Usyk with you. I was going to say 2. Alexander Usyk, Tyson Fury, 2. Watch it with you.
Got it.
There it is. All right, pound for pound.
Twister.
Pound for pound rankings.
No sold.
How we get there to this one? New year, new me. Best career surgences?
We'll call it script flips.
Best script flips in your career. New year, new me. We were going to do New Year's resolutions, and then we were like, this is too cliche. It's too easy. You can't really pull anyone out of the hat. So we're doing New Year, new me.
That's
career script flips.
It's specifically the career, not just like...
No, it could be...
Jesus, you guys.
Every week with this, Frank. It never gets old.
This one's actually
It never gets old, Frank.
Legitimate as it's ever been.
All right, what is the order? Are you going to lead us off, Frank?
I will start off.
Okay.
And then we'll figure out who goes next.
Okay, amazing. I feel like this is a weekly tradition now.
Yeah, it's fine. Why don't we just establish this order?
Why don't we just go...
Because then you'll feel bad when you don't let me go first. All right. Okay. So coming in at number 5 is my man, King Green.
Whoa, wait a minute. Hold on. We can't just move on from the idea that... Shout out Sally in the seat. Shout out Sally.
Andy,
wait, who the hell is
your young protege? Sally.
Okay, sorry. I didn't mean to derail, but
shout out.
I didn't mean to derail, but you knocked the freight train off. Anyway, so King Green at number 5. Look,
damn, I missed his whole tee up for this. Okay, yes,
it wasn't much of a tee up because you were just talking over me. King Green legally changed his name back in July of this year, and I feel like he has, skirted for the rest of the year, letting people dead name him once here, twice here. It's getting old. I say come January 1st, 2025, anyone that dead names him, he's got to fight him. He's just got to, no more bullshit. Put some respect on my name. He deserves to be called King Green. He is the king.
Okay, so the script flip was literally him changing his name.
No, the script flip is no more tolerance for people disrespecting.
So now he's going to be pissed if someone calls him Bobby.
Whoa. I mean, I'll let it pass for now, but come January 1, if I hear you use the BOBBY, I'm calling him up.
It sounds like
he's going to be like... He's not going to be happy.
Frank is going to fight on behalf of
maybe.
Frank's
maybe
staple
we're getting to that
of
point.
favorite fighters being Jake Paul, King Green, and Amanda Serrano is just...
It's incredible. All right. That was a good one.
All right. Coming in at number 4, Chael Sonnen. Look, man, I love you to death. You're probably one of the best people that we have on regular rotation over at the ArielHelwani show. But this bit of, self-deprecating, allowing his shtick to be the thing he reports on the most. Let's lose it. What made it cool was that it was subtle. You know, it's like, oh, is he serious? Is he not serious? Now I feel like he's playing into the character a little too much. And that's rich coming from me. But, yeah, I'd just like to see that change.
So can I just want to, I know you literally before the show asked me not to stop you in the midst of these.
No. I mean, you waited. I was done.
What was the change?
No, see, this is the thing. Frank's list is he wants them to change. He is suggesting you have to change. He's saying to King Green.
So you were just judging these people harshly and giving them suggestions.
King
on their
Green,
own
you
life.
have to fight anybody who dead names you. Chael Sonnen, you have to give up the shtick. You must change. So Frank is actually suggesting changes. That was not how I approached this, but I'm following now, Frank.
Changes.
I understand now. I understand it now.
Coming in at number 3, my man MG, Mark Goddard. Oh, man. If someone's arguing with you about, oh, there shouldn't be a stoppage, or, you know, there was a thorn in my foot, whatever, get the fuck out of here. You come into this ring, you come into this octagon, my rules. Can you show the picture again? Can you show
what did he change in his career?
He's telling him if somebody tries some bullshit with you, don't allow it.
This is what I want to see Mark Goddard look like.
So you're giving these people New Year's resolutions.
Absolutely. In fact, my biggest suggestion to Mark is instead of raising somebody's hand when they win, turn to the loser and show the picture again. Do this to the loser. Just be like, get out of here. You lost.
All right, I want to hear these last two.
These are great.
Who are the two advice?
These are great.
Get on out. Number 2, Ian Machado Gary.
Okay.
I love you. I honestly do. I think you're a great guy. I feel like you got humbled on this last fight, and you should be playing the humble card now. Like, show people. Like, you got a little bit more favor because, like, you kept up with Shafkat. Like, do it. But this whole, like, but I'm still the best. It's like, no. Like, I'm now humbled. Like, I have shown everyone that I can be beaten. And we were kind of talking about this off air about Alex Pereira, where it's like, when he got knocked out, it was like, oh, it happens. It's part of the sport. That's what Ian should be saying right now. Like, hey, it's part of the sport. I want to be the best, but clearly I'm not, you know, what's the word? Invulnerable.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it. Like, play this up. So I want to see that change. Flip the script, Ian, please.
All right, what's number one?
No reaction. Okay, number 1, Mike Tyson. Also, great coming into the ring with Jake. Got humbled a little bit. But if you're going to be Mike Iron Tyson, don't show your ass on television. It is so hard to take any of it seriously. It's like, yes, he was the baddest man on the planet. Several knockouts. All of that just got literally flushed down the toilet, pardon the pun, when you just show his bare ass cheeks walking away from the camera.
So
like, come on, Mike. Like, if you're going to be iron, not.
So the
not
new
grandpa.
year, new me for Mike Tyson is just don't show your ass.
That's it. It's a small ask. Like, keep
Small
up the
ass or small ask?
It was a small ask, but I do appreciate the tee up there.
So this was literally a list of your suggested New Year's resolutions for people in combat sports.
I think I might have misunderstood the assignment.
I'm actually curious to hear Rick's list because there's a chance that all 3 of us just fucked this up royal.
I have a feeling that you and I are aligned. That's my guess.
All right, Frank, as much as you understood the assignment and killed it for the best walkouts, you went the exact opposite for this one.
All right.
What was it? Headwear?
Yeah. Best headwear.
I'll say this, Frank. It was a different list, but I appreciated it greatly.
I also
appreciate it. It was actually quite bold.
I think that all of them are going to see those and take kindly to them and implement them into their routines.
Well, that's
how do we get you and Mark Goddard like together? There has to be some kind of way.
I had an opportunity.
Oh, that's right. You blew it in Vegas.
I did not blow it. I was working hard in the trenches with...
No, you weren't. We were standing around the bar.
No,
you blew it.
I was with GC working on content.
No.
And you guys texted me like, oh,
was this
come
at
over
300?
Here.
Oh,
yes,
you were working. You were working.
300 was a blur. I don't think I ever left the hotel room.
You were working.
The control hotel room. Good times, though. Incredible week. All right, Rick, your list.
Yeah, I think we're going to be aligned, but we'll see in a moment. So the way I thought of this, the way I conceived of this, was somebody who flipped the script, right? They were in one lane, they were doing one way, one thing, and then just drastically changed it for a different result. The same way the conception of this list, right? New year, new me. And then new year, I'm going to work out. I'm going to get this right. I'm going to do this, right? These people did it. These people, now, I don't think I have anybody on my list, but I could have gone the other way, right? If you're like killing it and then you're just like, I'm going to be lazy, I'm going to do this. You could have gone reverse. Most of these are more like change from one thing that wasn't necessarily working to now working.
Yeah.
Okay. Number 5 on my list. Shout out to Charles Oliveira, Bronx. Setting the scene, right? Kind of like an up and down career, bouncing around featherweight and lightweight, missing weight at featherweight, just kind of a middle of the road guy. Like I had seen 100 Charles Oliveira fights and I never thought to myself, like, that guy's going to be that guy one day. And then come this day to me, and also at that time, this era, pre whatever change I'm about to describe, is when this like quitter, no heart stuff was thrown about. Like he just did not seem like the guy. For me, the point of delineation is 2020, Kevin Lee shows up there, blonde hair for the first time, and it's just off to the races. The aura, the legend status of Charles Oliveira just grows and grows and grows. Dominates Kevin Lee, goes on to win tons of other fights, into the title fight against Michael Chandler, and the rest is history. Like just became one of the like most iconic champions that we've had in recent years. The fandom around Charles Oliveira is something like I could have never anticipated when we're thinking about that guy pre-2020. He was just not even on the radar. It's the type of thing when we're thinking like, oh, this guy's going to be the champion one day. They're in the top 8. He was not there. He was just not even in the conversation, not in the picture, and became this like iconic type of fighter. Win or lose, Charles Oliveira has a legion of fans that I could not have anticipated.
No doubt.
New year, new me, Charles Oliveira. Number 4 on my list. This is a deeper cut. I'm going to have to probably give some background for you here. Robbie Lawler. So, Robbie Lawler was an insanely violent knockout artist who had some clear kind of like holes in his game. Could be taken down, didn't really check leg kicks, was just kind of like there for the take. If you're going to strike with him, goddamn, like he's going to throw some bombs at you and you're probably in trouble. But there were some real clear paths to victory against Robbie Lawler. Like it was like if you can wrestle, if you can kind of just avoid the big shots, you're going to beat him. He also kind of seemed like a little bit listless. Like if I'm talking about how Charles Oliveira was like middle of the road, Robbie Lawler is this to the umpteenth degree, times 5. Like he was in Strikeforce, but he's alternating wins and losses. He's losing to guys like Tim Kennedy and Lorenz Larkin. And this is just the end of the Strikeforce era. This is not even like in the middle of it. And there's even an iconic moment before or after the Kennedy fight where he's falling asleep at the press conference. Like he just is checked out. Like he is there for a paycheck, clearly. Gets to the UFC and goes on this is 2012, gets to the UFC and goes on. Now, again, like Charles Oliveira, nobody's like, boy, that Robbie Lawler, that's going to be the UFC champ. Like just wasn't even fathomable. The way he ended his Strikeforce run, it wasn't even like possible. Comes into the UFC 2012, starches Josh Koscheck, who at the time this is like a big win, like a big name, beats Rory McDonald, loses the title shot against Johnny Hendricks, wins a few other fights, comes back to become UFC champion. That was the lone loss in a multiple year stretch. All-timer against Rory McDonald, the fight at UFC 189, the legendary, where is Rory? Somewhere. There he is, right there.
Here, big Rory in the house.
And another, shout out Rory, and then another all-timer fight of the year against Carlos Condit. Just the real ones know how bleak it looked for the idea of Robbie Lawler being like a contender and then just came out of nowhere to do it. Like the gap for him to me is even bigger than the gap was for Charles Oliveira. Charles Oliveira was like very talented, one of the top submission guys ever, and now has like continued to extend that. The gap between where Robbie Lawler was at the end of Strikeforce to him becoming UFC champion and then just being in these like classic all-timer fights against the best of the best was a it was unreachable heights that he was able to achieve. So Robbie Lawler, new year, new me. That Strikeforce to UFC switch, the guy just became a different animal. Number 3, respect to an OG, Chael Sonnen.
Okay. For different
Frank
reasons.
had him
than
a
Frank.
different reason. He wants to give him advice to
The graphic for this thing is going to look so out of whack. People are going to be like, what the fuck is this?
Frank wanted to give him advice to give up the gimmick. I want to come here to say, never give up the gimmick. The gimmick is what changed the fortunes of this entire sport. Flashback to the 2009-2010 range. Chael Sonnen is just a all-American wrestler guy, just picking up everyday standard wins. Like, it was not like much like I was going to say a name that maybe would appear on a list, so I won't say a name, but we think of Chael Sonnen in that era as just like, okay, meat and potatoes, got some wrestling wins. This is where it starts to switch. 2009, 2010, Yushin Okami, Nate Marquardt, he starts to use his voice a little bit. He starts to get on the mic and say, Anderson Silva, that guy's trash. I'll beat him on my worst day. Yushin Okami, like, he's actually friendly with Yushin Okami, but he started to amplify. We started to see the beginnings, the kernel, the seed of the Chael Sonnen that we see now. Those two wins then leads to the Anderson Silva fight. Full blown, we're talking UFC 117 press conference. His wife's going to make me a steak, yada, yada, yada. The Chael Sonnen that we have come to know and love. But before this, he was not that. He was just the guy picking up wins on 10 different promotions, fighting all over the world, keeping his mouth shut, trying to achieve a goal, but he was not this guy. What's so significant about this one is not just the switch, right? Not just the Chael Sonnen fully forming that character that he has become, which is also blurring the lines. We talked about Tyson Fury. Is he a character? Is he real? There's that middle ground, but he elevated Anderson Silva. So it wasn't just his career that he completely flipped. Anderson Silva, he flipped two careers, himself and the career of one of the all-time greats who at that time was being criticized by Dana White for having boring performances as the champion and not fighting to the best of his ability. He completely shifted Anderson Silva into a new stratosphere of pound-for-pound greatness because of the series with Chael Sonnen, because he had a foil. He altered his career in an insane way to the point that now, Chael Sonnen is not the first combat sports talker, right? Everybody references Muhammad Ali. There's many from the wrestling world and otherwise. But for MMA, he is the guy. For MMA, when he came in, it completely shifted. And the people who are on the mic now are doing versions of that, right? Even a Conor McGregor, not the same. I think Conor had his own unique style, but it is all a spawn of the Chael Sonnen way that he came into the sport. And so completely shifted the industry, completely shifted how fights are promoted, completely shifted the careers of himself and Anderson Silva. New year, new me, Chael Sonnen. Next one. This was my number one before we added the wild card wrinkle, and then I shifted it. Number two, Floyd Mayweather. If you don't know about the Floyd Mayweather switch, you can look this up. It is extremely simple. There was a period where he was Pretty Boy Floyd, and then there was a period where he was Money Mayweather. And the Pretty Boy Floyd was a different type of boxer from a style perspective and just a different type of dude from a business perspective. There was a point where Floyd Mayweather left the boxing establishment and became his own promoter. There was a point where he stopped working for the promotions, became his own promotion, and started fighting for himself, making a lot of money. And then that famous gif of him just throwing the money at the camera. There was a point in, I want to say late 2000s, early 2010s, where that gif comes from, where Floyd Mayweather decided he can't be Pretty Boy at 30-something years old. I'm moving into a new era of my life. I am the man now. I am the product. I am the money. Money Mayweather was born and completely shifted the industry. The boxing industry is completely different because of him deciding that he is going to compete for himself, be his own promoter, and make the money on the gate, make the money on the promotion, make the money on the purse, and just establish a model that very few can do at the level that he's able to do it and has been able to do it. But if you can, it's the greatest luxury that you have, and he's a model that any from a business perspective, any boxer should try to follow.
Great shout on Floyd Mayweather. I didn't even think of it.
Just business-wise, you could not do it better than Floyd Mayweather has done it. There's one person who, adjacent to combat sports, again, we decided one wild card, adjacent to combat sports, not a fighter, but adjacent to combat sports, who did it twice, if not three times, and that's Dwayne Johnson, The Rock.
Oh, shout out. Yes.
The Rock. All right, so here we go. Here's where we're the thinking on this. From a wrestling perspective, first of all, we'll start at football. I don't consider this a new year, new me. he kind of just washed out in football. He wasn't good enough to pursue the NFL. He tried it. There's kind of like, oh, he shifted to the wrestling, but wrestling was kind of what he was going to do if he didn't make it in football. Starting with the wrestling career, he debuted as a character named Rocky Maivia, which is closer to the roots of his family and his name. And he was supposed to be like a babyface. He was supposed to be like, you know, charismatic, high flyer. Everybody loves him. Everybody hated him, despised him. There is now a famous story of the arena chanting, "Die, Rocky, die." They hated this guy. He could not have been less over. They despised him. This leads to him going into the heel character, joining a faction called the Nation of Domination. This is where we start to get the mic skills of the know your role, shut your mouth, healing off to all the fans in the arena, which then leads to mega star The Rock on par with Stone Cold Steve Austin, one of the greatest performers in WWE, one of the greatest performers in wrestling, one of the greatest performers in entertainment, who becomes this icon. Oh, that's not enough. So there's the first New Year, New Me. Then this icon leaves in his absolute prime and just decides, you know what, I'm going to make movies. I'm going to go to Hollywood and star in the fucking Scorpion King and just do... Now, by the way, some of his early movies actually have aged pretty well. The Rock's movies are kind of gangster. But there was even a story, and he came out, I think it was in an article with GQ, like this year, another year, but he basically said that he told his agent that he wanted to be like the next Will Smith. Like, he thinks he has like enough universal appeal. Like, I can be that for everybody, which in hindsight now is like, yeah, brilliant. At the time, his agents were like, I don't know about that.
Yeah.
And then, like the Tim Robinson, you sure about that? And then he dropped his agents and said, yeah, I am sure about that. And went on to become one of the biggest earners in Hollywood history. Every time he opens a movie, it's an absolute smash, a box office hit. Completely shifted the narrative. At the time, like, Hollywood wasn't like welcoming to him. Like, he was kind of an outsider. This wrestling guy is coming over and trying to do our industry. Now he's one of the premier actors in Hollywood. New Year, New Me. Rock took over wrestling, swapped it, took over the Hollywood, swapped it.
This is a great list, man. Shout out to Floyd, shout out to The Rock. Those were both great calls. Charles Oliveira one is good. You nailed that. I think you're going to win the list. There's one that I just thought of that is not on yours, that is not on Frank's, that deserves to be more than an honorable mention that I don't have on mine, is Mike Perry. Mike Perry went from like 8 and 9
That's
in the
a
UFC,
fantastic one.
goes to BKFC, is now just like the biggest star that they have. Any like interview he does is going to do big numbers. He's getting Jake Paul fights. Mike Perry, platinum.
That's a great one.
I wish I had thought of that one earlier. But my list is written in stone. Once I give it off to Jordan, it's written in stone. So let's kick mine off. Number 5, Demetrius Johnson. Gets traded away from the UFC, is this underappreciated flyweight king while he's in the promotion. Goes to 1, becomes a champion there, cranks up the old YouTube channel and just becomes one of the biggest personalities that we have in the sport. Getting ready to touch 1 million subscribers. Just released a video of him with Habib and Islam. Did like 3 million views. Has become this star where now Pantoja's calling him out, begging him to come back to the promotion, begging him to fight him, and people are like, please come back. Now he's this legend, this GOAT that everyone respects, that people want him to come back when he was this underappreciated champion. So him being forced out, leaving, starting the YouTube channel has created this whole new world for one Demetrius Johnson.
Love that.
You said your wild card, The Rock, combat adjacent. I was thinking we're just talking wild card. It can be anyone.
We were.
So I will go with the one and only Bob Ross. Up until he's 39 years old, in the Air Force, screaming at people to clean toilets, to make their beds, do everything like that. So much so that when he leaves the Air Force, he vows, I'll never raise my voice again. Get it nice and calm, just a calm, nice, mellow manner. And the way he got out of the Air Force, he was a part-time bartender, and he used to watch a show called The Magic of Oil Painting, learns to paint landscapes, ends up selling these, making so much money that he can quit the Air Force at the ripe age of 39. Then he starts his own business. Then people are like, man, you're a great painter. Like, would you want to do it on TV? Public broadcasting picks him up. Then he becomes a star. He was so poor at the beginning of the business opening, he didn't have that much money, that he just let his hair grow out. He used to always have a crew cut in the Air Force.
Man.
Let his hair grow out, and then that just stuck. So Bob Ross, Air Force, military, to the calmest painter dropping bars. Shout out to Bob Ross. I guess this is another wild card, but Cody Rhodes. Makes his WWE debut in 2006, is in the promotion for 10 years, kind of ends weird with the Stardust era, and then he goes to regional promotions and he goes to New Japan and then AEW and then all the way back to WWE, and now he is the Universal Champion or whatever the title is called. He finished the story. He beat Roman Reigns. So 2016, you said 8 years ago, you're like, yep, that guy's going to be like the face of the company. You'd be like, don't think so. Don't think so.
No.
Which leads me to my second wild card. I know we only said one, but this one was just too good to pass up.
Cheater.
Number 2, Mr. Colonel Sanders. Did not open his first KFC until he was 65 years old. Worked on railroads, worked as a fireman, tire salesman. He was running a little roadside cafe that the Shell Corporation gave to him, making his fried chicken in North Corbin, Kentucky. Wasn't getting enough business. Painted a sign to try to get traffic into his little roadside cafe. A man by the name of Matt Stewart came and painted over that sign. Colonel Sanders was about that life, pulls out the strap, gets into a gunfight with Matt Stewart. Matt Stewart kills one of his employees, goes to jail for murder, gets rid of his competition, of Colonel Sanders' competition. A guy by the name of Duncan Hines, ever heard of it? The cake brand? He used to be a food reviewer, comes in, he's like, this fried chicken's fantastic. People start finding out about it. He opens up a restaurant, Kentucky Fried Chicken, age of 65. Nobody until then. There's your new year, new me.
Wow.
Shout out to Colonel Sanders.
What a journey.
The lore of Colonel Sanders is crazy. The thing that I couldn't find was why he became a colonel. They kind of threw in and but in 1953 they named him colonel in the state of Kentucky, and I'm just like, why though? Like, what did he do?
Wait, time out. What was his punishment for the gunfight? Did he get any?
I think it was just self-defense.
This guy came with the gun, Matt. This guy Matt.
I think he started it, and then Matt was like, don't bring a yell about my painted sign to a gunfight because I brought a gun. Started blasting, nicked one of, and by nicked I mean killed one of Colonel Sanders' employees. And the Wikipedia page on Colonel Sanders is crazy. I was like, I looked up, I was like, who had the latest blow up moment? And
their career,
Colonel Sanders was number 1, and I went on his Wikipedia page. I was like, what is going on in this? Shout out to Colonel Sanders. Shout out to KFC.
That's nuts.
If he got mad about you painting over his sign to try to get traffic to his restaurant, imagine if you found out about a secret recipe.
Yeah. Release that.
Crap's coming out. And number 1, like you said, your number 5, my number 1, one of the biggest stars in the sport today, Charles do Bronx Oliveira. Yeah, man, you said he was kind of a middling. 10-10 in the UFC.
Yeah.
10-10 in the UFC before ripping off 8 straight wins, winning 3 title fights after that, and becoming one of the biggest stars in the sport. Just to put it in perspective, Sam Alvey threw 20 UFC fights. Charles Oliveira was 10-10. Sam Alvey was 10-9-1.
Oh, so he had a better
there,
record.
He lost 4 more after that and was cut. It would be like Tim Means through 23 UFC fights, he was 13-10. Or like an Alex Caceres. Just random dudes who we know who they are, they've been around the promotion, but are nowhere near title contention. Just catching fire and then having this monster personality. Oh, and by the way, all along, didn't learn English. He's just been doing this all just speaking Portuguese, all through his aura, the blonde hair, the performances, everything. It's just incredible. I was not a diehard fan when it was 10-10 Charles Oliveira and everyone was calling him a quitter and he was bouncing between 45 and 55.
Yeah.
But knowing him now of just anytime you talk about Charles Oliveira, it just goes nuclear. Anytime he fights, everyone wants to watch it. New year, new me, new career for one Charles Oliveira. My biggest, flip the script. And that's that.
I think you would get so much joy if you did a deep dive on Robbie Lawler.
I did see Robbie Lawler as an option.
If you knew where he was.
On this list that I was looking at, that it was just records through 20 UFC fights. Robbie Lawler was on there with 21 fights and he was 13-9.
Yeah. Well, he had a UFC run before eventually leaving the promotion, then going to Strikeforce. He then spent the years just worse than Charles. It was just
Crazy.
Could not do it. And
Sport's so unpredictable, man.
And also, Charles, kind of was quiet, didn't really have the personality, wasn't really talker. I feel like we did good. I feel like everybody brought it to that.
This
Yeah.
is like, if we drop this
We did
graphic,
good.
people are going to be like, what is going on here? New year, new me. Like, it doesn't really explain it.
Oh, it's explained so well.
Yeah. King Green, Chelsea.
Is that sarcastic?
Yeah,
Brett?
this one's going to go up in the rafters as not our best pound for pound, like, idea. And then Frank's list, not understanding it, is going to go down as, like, not the best list.
So you guys meant who had the best script flips?
Yes.
Correct.
Okay, that's all you had to say.
You
This
were
whole
trying-
new year, new me. It's like something that we're looking forward to. You know what? We'll offline about it. It's fine.
We got to.
Yeah, it's offline.
What we have here is a failure to communicate.
A failure to launch.
Frank, you could have just asked, you know?
I think I did several times, and it was like, not now, Frank. Get out of the room, Frank.
Jordan, by the way, Jordan could have helped you with this.
He
Jordan
did. He actually did.
Oh, boy.
I mean, like, I spit some ideas. I think he wanted to watch me fail.
Jordan,
Do we
you
have
want to
any
respond
questions?
to that with a topic bar?
I'll do it on the air.
Oh, on air,
Is
Jordan
this-
living
wait,
up to his name.
Is this the first time we're hearing your voice on air?
Not the first time. The first time you're listening to him.
Shout out.
Literally went on air earlier.
Oh, I didn't know if that was in my ear.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, someone
See,
said
that's-
Mark Hunt?
Yeah, Mark Hunt's a great one, too.
You're already ignoring him
Yeah,
again. Yeah.
No, I'm used to it.
Winner of Blockowicz Olberg get a title shot? All right, go ahead, Jordan.
No, I gave Frank ideas and gave him reasons for my suggestions, and he just made
Wait a minute. Wait, what?
I thought he misunderstood.
Oh, cut back? Cut back to the control room, please?
No, we're not. No.
I missed it. I was looking down.
Who the hell is that?
I don't know, but he's not a great producer. He doesn't answer the slacks.
Yeah, we gotta get up to speed on the slacks.
Do we have any super chats that we need to answer, Frank?
Yeah, we do actually.
All right,
All right,
let's
let's
answer
run through
those
them.
and then get to our special guest over there.
Yeah, I just want to pull up a tweet that I saw earlier. That was pretty awesome.
Okay.
This tweet is actually from our own
Oh, what the
Uncrowned.
Yeah.
Nice to see New York Rick recover from yet another L to Connor
Eat
Burks
that
on the Avalon bike.
Hold
Smoked
on. Oh, let me see if this is real. This is real?
This is absolutely real.
Smoked them.
Hold
doesn't
on.
want the clout.
I'm responding to this immediately.
Well,
Sean Brady.
We are live.
Sean Brady,
No,
where you
on
at?
Twitter. I'm responding to this. What the?
I'm ready for my next competition. I've already moved on.
Wait a minute.
Where's Sean
it was,
Brady
It was
at?
kind of embarrassing.
Where's Sean Brady
Um,
at?
Miguelito.
I don't appreciate that, but shout out to GC. It was an epic
I
performance.
mean, I'm glad to see that you recovered. You actually haven't complained too much about your legs like you were yesterday. You were limping around.
You're talking about Connor or me?
You.
No, Connor had
I
the
was
jelly
limping
legs.
around a little bit. I had the jelly legs. I was going too hard. I'll own up to
You
it.
could have just gone with anyway. All right. So Miguelito, 87, says for Rick, GC, and MF, if you were given $100 million Canadian dollars.
What does that convert to? Keep reading, and I'm going to do
I
that.
think it's like
for people to
25
watch your
USD.
entire life, every secret, embarrassing moment, shady thing you may have done, and text, would you take the deal?
Shoo. Yeah.
I'd do it.
Yeah. My
No,
life
I
isn't
wouldn't.
I would do it. I'd take the money.
Okay, so that's
And
about
then-
70 million US. I'm going to say no. My pride is not worth that.
Like, people would judge me, but, like, I haven't done anything, like, illegal or, like, that heinous. Like, it's just, like,
Yet.
Okay, so
Picking my nose.
what is the minimum price you would do that for?
yeah, it's a good question.
10 mil?
What did we say is 100 million?
70 US.
70 million USD. That's... Y'all ain't
Kids
never
are
gonna
set
see
for
me
life.
again if I have 70 million.
I know, but the families, everybody's going to know. They're going to be like, that's
Yeah.
the guy who said that terrible thing.
Yeah, I guess that's true. Yeah, I don't know. I'd probably do it for 50 million USD.
So 50 is the number, the floor.
Yeah, I mean, 50 million, could I just dip off to a remote land and
Change
just
your
not have to
name,
worry
change
about
your
anyone?
face, and then you're good.
Yeah.
Nobody will know.
$200.
$200
I'll
for
do it.
Maybe it's just me speaking to how much shameful stuff I do behind the scenes that I
Frank
don't want.
literally won't show his face on camera, but he's just like, every secret I've ever had, $200.
I actually think I don't have that many, but I feel like I don't know. I don't want my life on Front Street like that. That's a lot of money though. I'm gonna say no for now. But if they plopped a bag of money in front of me, I'd change my mind, I think.
Well, speaking of which, no. Sleeto has actually written
Sleeto!
Shout out Sleeto.
give me the December 2025 top 5 in 2 divisions of your choice. Hopefully this is specific enough to not step on the 2025 look ahead episode.
It's probably not.
Okay, I will go with,
I'll do different ones than you, so you pick.
all right, I will go flyweight, top 5. Ilia Topuria, champion. Diego Lopez, number 1 contender. Movsar Evloev, number 2. Arnold Allen, number 3. Lerone Murphy, 4. And Alexander Volkanovski, 5.
We'll alternate. I'll just pick one.
Yeah.
I'm going to do lightweight. Islam Makhachev, champion. Charles Oliveira, number 2. Arman Sarukian, number 3. Here's where I want to put a wild card in there. Renato Moicano, number 5. And number 4 is going to be Max Holloway.
I'm going to go
top 5.
I'm going to go middleweight. Khamzat Chimaev, champion.
Yep.
I'm going to go DDP, number 1 contender. I'm going to go Caio Bajalio, 2.
Ooh, I like it.
Israel Adesanya, 3. I'm going to go Anthony Hernandez, 4.
Love it.
And then I'm going to go Charbel at 5.
All right, I'm going to go over to the PFL Bellator. Number 1 at lightweight is going to be Paul Hughes. No, I'm just kidding. But I do have a man crush on Paul Hughes. Shout out Paul Hughes. I'm going to do heavyweight. Champion, Alex Pereira. Number 1 contender, Tom Aspinall. Number 2, Jalton Almeida.
Okay.
Number 3, Cyril Gahn. Number 4, Curtis Blades. Number 5, Sergey Pavlovich. That's the list.
All right, $5. You got your money's worth there.
Come on, easy.
You certainly got your money's worth there.
What else we got?
You know, we got one from Dave Sandine. Happy holidays to the boys in the back.
God.
Shout out Dave.
Hopefully some of this goes to the GC deserves a new chair fund.
Thank you, Dave. Thank you, man. My back's been aching.
By the way, I sit in the exact same chair. Yes, next.
Quick question for the crew. What's your favorite Christmas stocking stuffers of all time?
No-brainer for me. Absolute no-brainer. The chocolate oranges. Love them.
Those are good.
Slam it down on the table. It busts open. Yeah. You just get a couple slices. I love it. I didn't realize until I went to England, like how normal of a thing like orange flavored chocolate is until I got over there.
It was always unique to me in childhood too. Like I was always like, oh, this is a little funky. Like I didn't see it everywhere.
There's just something about it. I just love it.
The first time I had it was at Tea and Sympathy. Like I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah, dude.
And then I became addicted.
I don't know why. It's just so good, man.
And
have you had like other fruit flavor ones?
I don't think so.
They have like raspberry and all kinds of
Damn.
In fact, that same company that makes the orange, makes raspberry ones.
Oh,
sorry, Frank. What'd you say?
I said I haven't had the orange chocolate since. This reminds me I need to fix that.
Yeah, I need to go get some of that.
For me, it's cash money. Stick some cash money in there.
Yeah, like a bundle, right?
Throw a 20 in there.
Just rubber band it a couple times, throw it in there.
Yeah, nice little roll. Stick it right in
For me, it's I don't know if you guys are familiar with this, the Lifesaver book.
Oh, yeah.
It's just something my grandmother used to do. And when we got older, she started wrapping money around each roll.
Wow.
And she realized, if I keep giving them Lifesavers like this, they're going to have a lot of dental bills. So might as well give them.
She's paying for the dental.
Paying into the fund. So that was a nice treat.
Inside the book is only the wintergreen, right? Like it's only the mint ones.
No, there was a variety.
Oh, you had it?
Yeah,
Okay.
Maybe you only got the first page? I don't know.
It's not actually a book, Frank. Come on.
Oh. Well, damn. Andrew Tippett writes,
Tippett
won my division in the BJJ competition by Gilly and Anaconda. Happy holidays. Roll Tide.
This guy hit us up and said that he had his first BJJ competition. He started back in April and that I should start. Congratulations to you, Andrew.
And then you told him to fuck off because he said Roll Tide.
No, I just told him he didn't have to worry about the playoffs. He could worry. Enjoy your holidays. Don't have to worry about the upcoming. First playoff game tomorrow, Notre Dame, Indiana. Can't wait for that one. Shout out to Andrew, though. Congratulations,
shout out, Andrew.
man. That's
Congratulations,
amazing. That is
buddy.
amazing, dude.
That's amazing.
And shout out to Reza. When do you think we'll get another main event with real bad blood, like Conor versus Khabib? Mega fights like Jones and Aspinall are great, but true hatred makes Buffer's intros hit different. Thoughts?
There's one pure hatred fight that I've always said I wanted to see. I don't think it will ever happen. It's the one for me that I have the most interest in. Do you know what it is?
No.
Colby Covington versus Dustin Poirier.
That'd be a good one.
I think
do that one.
I think Dustin Poirier hates him more than Jorge does.
Do it down in Louisiana.
And I would love to see that.
Send off.
I would love to see it. I don't think Dustin wants to. I think Colby's down and out right now. I don't think Dustin wants to give him a little lifeline to get him back up.
I don't think so either.
That's the one for me. That's real bad blood. That's true. I think he hates him, and I would love to see that. But I mean, I think the animosity is starting to grow with Tom and John. I think there's something there. Like,
I think they dislike each other. I don't think they hate each other.
They don't hate.
I don't think we're getting dollies through buses.
Who hates who? I mean, there's nothing. I'll say this definitively: there will not be a Conor Habib. You can't approach that level.
You just never know. Like 20 years down the line, there might be something. But
but I don't know if they'd even let them fight. Like, that was so bad. That was so toxic for what it was. Like, I don't know if they'd even let them do it at this point.
Crazy. Good one though with Poirier and Covington.
I want that bad.
Anything else, Frankie?
No, sir.
All right, man. Well, before we go, we got to go to our producer extraordinaire in the back, Mr. Ariel Helwani. I think he's got a bit of news for us.
Oh, I'm back on the program. I was told to stay away, never return.
Who told you this?
I may have
still
had
got
a
the
few
coat
words.
on and everything.
Frank. Oh,
Make
it's
yourself
freezing.
at home, man.
It's freezing back here.
Okay, I always say that, and whenever I grab it, they go, "Is it cold in here?" Yeah, no shit.
I'm in transit. I'm in transit. I have a lot of meetings. I'm an executive here, so I have a lot of meetings. I'm just sort of in transit here to drop some knowledge. The show's been fantastic.
Thank you.
Fight Feast has been a revelation, not so much because it's a new thing, but because the production value has really gone up. I commend the videographer, the producer, the sidekick, everyone involved. I was pointing at Frank over here. I thought he would chime in with thank you.
Your EQ.
Oh, okay. No. It's all been really, really good. The lists have. There's no notes. There's absolutely no notes. But I did want to just add this before you guys say goodbye. And last couple of days we've been talking about this Logan Paul, Conor McGregor story, and my phone continues to blow up. Fielding a lot of phone calls, talking to a lot of sources, talking to a lot of people, and that is the initial tweet that kind of, kicked all this off, right? That tweet right there, the rumors of a bout with Topuria are false. There were no real rumors, let's be honest. I am in preliminary agreements with the Ambani family to face Logan Paul in a boxing exhibition in India. I have agreed. I will then seek my return to the octagon. So this was on December 17th, 2 days ago, and that's what really sparked everything. And then I've been talking to a lot of people, and so right after that, when we did the show on Tuesday, I said there is validity, right? There is a thing here. Save that tweet if we can. Save that tweet. There is validity. There is validity to this story. This is a real thing, and it's not just Conor chatting shit, as the kids like to say. And I've continued to look into it, and I've continued to talk to people. And now I feel compelled to say once again that us talking about it is not us endorsing this, right? We're not saying this is what we want. I think everyone will agree that we want Conor McGregor to, if he fights again, if he decides to fight again. Someone's texting me now about this. This is all,
wow,
it's all happening.
Real time.
In real time, we're getting updates. Should I book a flight to India?
We'll see on the back end.
Okay, so it is. We all want Conor to fight in MMA if he fights again, right?
Yes,
we all agree.
that's right.
Okay. Got that out of the way. So let's talk about what I know as of right now on this Thursday afternoon. This family, the Ambani family, which I went through the stats, right? I went through the stats, courtesy GC got them for me very quickly. I will be honest, and perhaps it's shame on me, wasn't so familiar. Now, after doing some digging, probably we should have been very familiar because they're one of the most powerful and richest families in the world. Just to give you a sense of that, they just celebrated the wedding of their son over the summer. Have you guys heard about this wedding?
No.
It was maybe the most expensive wedding of all time. So the patriarch of the family, Mukesh Ambani, is his net worth is estimated at around 120 billion.
Crazy.
They suspect that all the celebrations combined for the wedding of his son was in the range of 600 million. That's how much they spent on it. 600 million. I'm looking at a story here that was in The Guardian, and they said that his youngest son, Anat Ambani, got married to Radhika Merchant, who's the daughter of a pharmaceutical tycoon, and it went up to around 600 million, like I said, which is still just 0.5% of the Ambani fortune. It happened over the span of several days. Among the people who were at the actual wedding, former Prime Ministers Boris Johnson and Tony Blair, David and Victoria Beckham, some Bollywood stars, Kim and Khloe Kardashian, Jeff Bezos, Mark Zuckerberg, and many more. It was a big freaking deal. So I'm just trying to give you some insight into how powerful this family is. Okay, now let's get to the goods. Jake Paul, Mike Tyson happens around a month ago. The son says, I want something like this. I want to do something like this. I want something big. They're doing it in Saudi Arabia. They're doing it all over the place. I want something big in India, right? Which is where we where we reside. And so my understanding, let me just double check this because it's all happening in. My understanding was the first choice is we want Jake Paul. We want to be in the Jake Paul business. We want a Jake Paul fight here in India. And so then the top choice was Jake Paul versus Conor McGregor. That was the pie in the sky idea. And that's why Jake Paul tweeted, once all of this came out, this tweet, now it all makes sense. I'm trying to read this. Now it all makes sense why Conor McGregor and his management team have been desperately trying to get MVP to negotiate for a fight between us. And so, yes, people have reached out and said, all right, there's interest here. Let's try to make this a thing. Let's try to turn this into reality. As we told them privately, and I'm now saying it publicly, the only way we're willing to explore me versus Conor in a pro boxing / MMA fight is if Dana White / the UFC are at the table directly or making it clear they are okay with discussions. And then he takes a shot. Conor is washed, needs the Paul's Logan by however he wants. That is accurate. That's what was said back. Like, hey, is the UFC involved? Is this a UFC thing, or is this just, someone trying to put together a deal? As of right now, the UFC is not involved. As of right now, WWE, which obviously Logan Paul, he works for them. He's a competitor for them, and they just announced yesterday that he was coming back. They're not involved. And my understanding is no one from this family has really talked to those particulars. They're all under the TKO umbrella, and you're looking at the Instagram story, or you're about to look, sorry. I'm getting confused with the screens here. There's the Instagram story, Logan Paul doing the eye emoji, which means that once Jake said to them, hey, unless you guys are in bed with the UFC, unless the UFC is giving this okay, I'm not interested. So then the family said...
Can I just say...
Yeah.
That would make sense, and I just want clarification on that. Because they are saying we do not think this could happen without the UFC's blessing, right? Jake Paul is and his team.
Jake Paul doesn't want to do anything that he's going to get sued for. You're negotiating with our guy. It's a very tenuous relationship. It doesn't make any sense. Well, we're going to sit and negotiate a deal, and then Dana's going to say no thanks. What's the point? It's a waste of time, really. So then they said, all right, what's the next best thing? It's Logan Paul. But and this is not me trying to take a shot at Logan or anyone else. My understanding was the top choice was Jake, just because Jake has become more of a boxer as of late, as opposed to Logan, who last fought against Dylan Dennis in
You also
October.
said the inspiration was Jake versus Mike. Clear, like Jake is that guy. Yeah.
Yes.
Makes a lot of sense.
So spoke to Logan, and there's validity to that, hence the eye emojis and all that. But as of right now, Thursday afternoon, the top dogs in WWE and UFC have not talked to them about this. So it's them saying, hey, I'm interested, you're interested. There's a gigantic, purse attached to all of this. There's a very rich and influential family attached to all of this. Let's make it happen. Now, more on this family. The main channel, as I think we talked about on the show because someone wrote to you about it, the main sports channel there is this channel called Star, which is owned by Disney.
Yeah.
So they started their own channel, which is called Gio, J-I-O, and basically said, like, hey, we're going to try to go up against Star, and started to get a lot of the sports rights and the big one was the cricket rights over there. So recently they came together and merged into a mega channel called GeoStar, which is now apparently worth like 11 to 12 billion dollars, the valuation. And this just shows like their interest in sport and their power and influence, and
their broadcast reach, and where they could put this. Yeah.
And so as of right now, is there a deal in place? Not necessarily. And as of right now, is it, at the goal line? Not necessarily. But it is real that there is a very rich and very powerful and very influential family in India known as the Ambani family that wants to get involved in a mega event. Are they looking to make a promotion? Are they looking to start something? Are they looking to even do something akin to what Turkey has done in Saudi Arabia? Not necessarily. They want to put on an event. And they're thinking to themselves, who are the biggest names who can make this into the biggest event? And you can make a very strong case that, the two names that would attract all the different sort of fan bases, if you will, would be Conor McGregor and Jake Paul. But there's a lot of issues there. Again, Jake doesn't want to negotiate if the UFC doesn't give the blessing, and Conor can't do this fight unless the UFC gives its blessing, because he still has 2 fights left on the deal. Now, again, was Dana White referring to this? Who knows? Maybe we'll find out in 2025. But as of right now, I know that both fight entities, both fighter parties are interested. The question is, can they get over all the hurdles and roadblocks in order to make this into a reality?
Okay, I have a few questions to follow up. Conor McGregor needs the UFC's blessing, clearly.
Yes.
But if he gets that blessing, would the fight still be Logan versus Conor? Because at that point, now the UFC has blessed it. Why would Jake not be the one in the fight at that point?
It's a fantastic follow-up, and it might change things. Because, again, I was told by multiple parties that Jake is the one that they want to be in business with.
Yeah, I mean, it would stand to reason to me, like if the UFC goes, we're going to do business with this family to put on an event in India for this amount of money, that clears the hurdles for Jake, right?
And the
Jake
family
has
is
said
the biggest part. Like, if you're willing to pay $600 million for a wedding, like, what are you willing to pay for this mega fight that will actually make you money as well?
Yeah, like imagine it's like 100 million, 200 million, 300 million. You know what I mean? That's nothing for them.
No.
Right. Like, what?
And everyone will be talking about India. Everyone will be talking about, this family. This is what they want.
I didn't know who they were before this.
So my second question is, clearly, so the UFC is the blockade right now, right? Well, actually, Logan has a contract with WWE.
Yeah.
Theoretically, if I was in the shoes, it actually seems a lot easier to do a fight with Jake and ex-opponent, right? Jake is free and clear. Jake is his own promoter. Jake versus whoever actually feels like an easier obstacle to clear, because now you don't have to worry about clearing it with the UFC and breaking that. Is there any thought to that? Would Jake's next fight be
the
with
question
this
is
family?
who?
Yeah, I don't know. But if Conor McGregor is not going to be the opponent for Logan anyway, now you've still got Jake, and you can do Jake versus X. Now, Jake versus Logan, to me, is a big fight that maybe if you can get WWE's blessing.
Listen, I let's just take a step back. If you're Jake Paul and his team, and this has not been said to me, but if you're that team and you say, all right, we were being hit up about this, and then we said, hey, unless like all the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed, like we're not engaging. And then you go to the brother. Again, I just feel like how does that not create some tension between the two? They're both going after the same prizes, or they're both in the discussion. I don't know if Jake is seeking this, but again, we talked about the history there with Conor as well. And there's probably more juice to that fight. It's just a fascinating time. And again, if we can all just take a deep breath and take a step back, it just speaks to the draw that he is right now, whether people want to admit it or not. It's a wild thing. It's a wild thing that a family of this stature says, like, we want to get into boxing. We want to do a boxing event, and we want this guy to be at the top of the bill. And I've asked them, is this legit? All they've said to me is, the tweet, we stand by the tweet. That's all I've gotten. Look at the tweet. The tweet is what we're saying right now.
And so when you listed the wedding guests, who all did you say?
Kardashians,
Kim and Khloe, Bezos, Zuckerberg, Boris Johnson, Tony Blair, and a gazillion other people.
Doing a little research right now, trying to connect some dots. Don't know if he was there, but it's been confirmed by Forbes and The Cut that he did get an invite. One, Ariel Emanuel was also invited.
Oh, boy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Never know.
For those that don't know, obviously, like the head of Endeavor and very influential in the world of TKO. The big macher, if you will, the big boss. So it's just very fascinating. I say all of this just to say it's a thing. It's a real thing. Does it turn out to be a reality? But there you go. There's Conor this morning. TKO Group, UFC versus WWE. There is levels to this. A big sloppy novice is going to find out. TKO King title. Hashtag biggest generator, hashtag king of numbers, hashtag streams, hashtag pay-per-view. How many damn hashtags? I hold every record, and I'm coming back to KO this novice and rack in more numbers for the company's stock marketing.
My favorite is the hashtag streams.
My highest pay packet yet. Hashtag thanks for
These
the
are
cheese.
definitely hashtags that people were using at
Now, is this Conor trying to convince someone? Is this Conor, you know?
Do you think Logan Paul is the most famous person associated with WWE? I guess other than The Rock. The Rock, obviously.
Yeah, The
Rock
Rock's
and
probably
Conor
number
aren't gonna.
Yeah, because like you could say like the Roman Reigns of the world, but Logan transcends all of that. Yeah, so
fan base.
So like the biggest name from the UFC, the biggest name from WWE.
Yeah, but the question, but the big problem is UFC and WWE aren't involved.
Right,
not yet.
I'm, saying
now, I'm sure they'll be happy.
But the way Conor's billing it is UFC versus WWE.
Sure.
Yeah.
And then there's the fair question, like, does anyone care?
From a fight
People will
perspective.
care.
Okay, sorry. I'm sorry. People will care. The same way they bellyached about Tyson and Paul, they will watch. But ultimately, like,
Does anybody want to see them fight?
This rivalry of just because people watched it doesn't mean it was their top choice. Doesn't mean they ultimately like deep down felt some sort of way. So,
curiosity is sometimes
UFC
the
versus
factor.
WWE rivalry. I've never believed is a thing because people are able to distinguish the difference between the two, and so to try to bill it as such, I think is kind of a slippery slope as well. If it's UFC versus boxing, which is what Floyd versus Conor was, I think that's a whole different ballgame.
You raise a good point. You could cast the kind of stink that you don't necessarily want on it in terms of prescripted, you know?
People will definitely want to see Conor McGregor potentially beat up a Paul brother, though.
Do you?
But I think they'd rather see him beat up Jake if they're rooting.
And I think he would rather beat up Jake if we're being honest. Do you think there's ever going to be a day where these mega matchups, these fantasy things, are MMA fights? Do you think anybody's ever going to pay for this type of money, give this type of attention to MMA? It always seems to be in the boxing realm, I think, because boxing is such a global sport. There's so much more money for the top athletes in it, so naturally the fighters are going that way. One day, 20 years from now, is this going to be like the richest family in the world is trying to make the MMA fight between XYZ?
Okay, so when you said one day, I thought you were referring to like next year.
No,
20 years from now is
the
down
future.
the road. The barrier to entry is just so much more difficult, right?
Yeah.
Like they have everyone. And so there isn't this like, what's Floyd doing these days? Or what's Manny Pacquiao doing these days? Like all those guys are kind of locked up or, you know, they're not big enough if they're not locked up to warrant something like this. So the other thing is, let's be honest, and I have to choose my words wisely. If you're trying to get an influencer to come over and you say, all right, devote the next 4 months to just boxing, I think it's a little bit more palatable than saying devote the next 4 months to boxing, wrestling, kickboxing.
Yeah, MMA is more complex of a sport. It's more dangerous. There's more risk of injury involved. So it's easier to get someone like Logan Paul to box Floyd Mayweather or Conor McGregor.
You know, we're going to do a 2025 preview show that will come out on Monday. Perhaps this is going to be one of the big stories to follow. It's a weird one, and trust me, I understand if you're a fan out there who's rolling your eyes and being like, I don't want this, I don't sign up for this, I don't find any interest in this. But when you talk about the Venn diagram that is Uncrowned, well, let's see. MMA, boxing, wrestling, we're right there in the middle. And so here's a message to the Ambani family. This event should be brought to you by the Uncrowned Network. Put it on our YouTube channel, you know? You need a place to broadcast it.
Yeah, we own own whatever that broadcast channel is worth $12 billion. But let's put it on
Geostar.
Work it through the kinks. We could have some cool polls up there for you.
Yeah.
We'll have Frank doing the audio.
Damn right.
GC's fighting on the undercard because we pushed him into a fight in this
That's
fight.
right.
Down,
GC
I'm
versus
down.
Dylan Dennis. Minus 500. GC.
No,
Me
Sean Brady.
versus
GC
Sean
versus
Brady
Sean
in
Brady.
the back on the bike. And
UFC's
me in
UFC's
the ring
lending
versus
multiple talent.
We have a director. We have a great producer in the control. I mean, we could literally do it from here. We could broadcast. I mean, we did Helwani Vision from here. How different is that? So, and there are venues over there that would be big enough for a production like this. In the cricket venues.
Last thing.
Yes.
Prediction right now.
Does it happen?
in
No.
2025.
Oh.
Not does that specific fight happen. Does a fight happen? And is either Conor McGregor or Jake Paul involved in it?
I think to your point, there's a better chance of Jake.
Yeah. Does it happen?
I
and is
think
one of them
this
in?
family. Okay. By the way, the other thing that I was told was that they're not looking for some wish version of a mega event.
Right.
If it's not mega A plus, they're just going to be like, all right, we'll do something else. My understanding is they built a house. They built like a compound that's worth over $1 billion with a B, with like multiple levels of garages and whatnot. And my understanding was, and I'm kind of all cobbling this together, that they felt like there was bad juju in the construction, and so no one lives there.
And it's just there.
It's just there.
I'll take it. And while we're
That's
sending them
crazy.
messages, we'll stream it here.
I started to go down this rabbit hole of this
Putting on this
family.
fight is nothing.
I will take it.
And it's a fascinating thing. It's just on a whole different level. So, look, there was a big event today in Saudi Arabia. I was watching it, the Ring Gala event. Did you guys see all of that? I mean, it was a who's who, black tie, Ada's there with the tux. I mean, literally every single boxer on the planet, except for maybe like Tank Davis and Canelo Alvarez was there, it seemed like.
Incredible.
Every single one was there, all dressed to the nines. Would you believe Flat Earth himself even showed up to the shindig?
Gives a flying fuck about.
Yeah, and I said the same, Frank.
Hold on. You got to wait for it to finish.
Yeah, I said the same. I said the same. But he was there too. That's how much they were scraping the bottom of the barrel with Dave.
It was like elite. It was the best of the best. And
I
now
know.
like they're scraping
I
the
too
bottom.
was surprised. I too was surprised.
Shut up.
No, much respect. It was 80,000 people at George Groves. Anyway, are we entering a world where like this is happening over there and this is happening over in India? Golly.
It feels like if the money is there, yes. The answer is yes. The problem is I'm not going to be surprised if we start seeing the best fighters in the world start signing contracts with just out clauses where you cannot prevent me from taking these types of fights.
Yeah.
Like that has to be part of it because the money is just there. If you're locked into something, you are prevented from a potential massive payday in this. Now, you may not be of the level that they come calling you, but one day that you may, and all of a sudden you're locked in. A Conor McGregor has way more value to this family than he does the UFC. That's just what it is.
One last thing, if I may, and then I'll
Yes,
let you guys
please.
go. You were talking about Alex Pereira and Magomed and the tweets and
Oh, you got
whatnot.
something.
Yeah, you know what I got? I got silencio.
Oh.
Crickets.
Oh, you hit him up and
I was like, is this legit or are we just messing around?
let me throw.
You know what I got?
What's your feeling on it?
Beep. What's my feeling?
Like, what
Yeah,
does
that's
your
what I got.
instinct say
what if
is
Pereira-
happening here?
What if Pereira is? It's going to be Conor McGregor versus Logan Paul main event, co-main event.
Alex
Alex
versus
Pereira
Jake.
versus Jake.
Versus Jake?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Remember that call out?
Yeah.
That one seems to have died.
There's heat.
Yeah, Alex is in the UFC the same way they all die.
Yeah, I know, but that one never really got going. I don't know. I feel like Alex is just trying to rile him up. That's
Okay.
my thing.
Yeah, I think it's just.
But honestly, like that's just me guessing.
Yeah.
I've been left unseen, as they say in the business. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it's a tough spot, but happens to the best of us. So there you have it. There's the news of the day. Tremendous show, gentlemen.
Thank you.
I bid you adieu.
All right, thanks, brother. We'll see you at the Christmas party.
Yes.
Thank you, Aaron.
Can't wait. Yes.
Can't
Dumplings for all.
Dumplings for all. Let's
Is that-
go.
Is that tonight?
No.
Oh,
missed it.
Frank. All right. Thanks for the update, Helwani. Appreciate it as always.
Ooh, fascinating stuff, man.
You think it happens?
I think there will be a fight, and I think Jake Paul or Logan Paul will be involved. I do not think Conor McGregor is going to be involved.
India. Asia just taking
There
over.
is a price that the
fight
UFC
game.
could be paid to make it happen,
And it sounds
and
like
they can pay that
the
price.
I'm saying, like, it sounds like they can pay the price, man.
but it opens this very slippery slope. And they did this once. They opened the door to this.
Yeah.
And it created a scenario where now the door is open again. You create the
But I guess
slippery
the door
slope.
is open for the same guy.
Yeah, but at the same time, now if I'm John Jones, why am I with you?
Yeah.
What can you do for me?
It's a good point. It's a good point. We'll wait and see what happens. 2025, I'm sure. Like, the best part about this game is just like so much happens that you would never expect. Like Max Holloway fighting for the 155 title. I was thinking about that the other day. I was like, I would have never guessed that entering into 2024. Massive knockout at 300. The fight game surprises us often, so we'll see what happens in 2025. I hate to say goodbye. I mean, the fire is getting just toasty. It actually looks like
it looks so good.
Desk. I can't believe how good it looks. Set looks amazing. But I think that's it for us, man. Favorite part of the day. Favorite part of the week for Frank.
Last one of the year.
Last one of the year. I got my sweater on. Shout out. Speaking of Alex Pereira.